So what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to cut it out straight out of the magazine?
No, you're not supposed to cut it straight out of the magazine. Look at those pictures over there that Bailey's looking at. Choose one, or out of the magazine, choose one. Do not cut it out. And then you come over here and you get paper, and you cut out the pieces of colored paper, and you make a collage right here. I know, that's not right. Curtis, you can also use the magazine.
Yeah.
You know what you got going on? How about you?
Huh?
You know?
On the page, those cards. The orange one. Go look at it. You'll notice what it is.
Will I notice what it is? This one?
Yeah.
What is it?
Flames.
Flames. Oh, I see. So
Why do you need a?
if you choose this one, then you go over there and you get colored papers and you cut them out. You don't know what to do with it?
No, I'm gonna use Curtis' paper. I missed the last slide. That's okay. Curtis. Curtis. Using your.
Come on. It's working. Choose a picture. You're gonna sit there. You're gonna sit outside.
Well, just stand outside because it's like totally
That's
wet
why
out.
if you're not gonna work, you're gonna go outside. And you're gonna sit outside.
I'm not gonna sit.
Then do work.
You can't force me to sit.
Stand out there.
Better.
What?
10 minutes later.
Can I do this one? What? What?
Nope. That's not a Matisse.
How do you know?
Or you can go and look up there in the box behind CJ and there's some pictures.
Yes, I can ignore someone.
I'm sure you will be able to.
4 minutes later.
Come on in.
What?
You want to go outside or you want to stay in here and work?
I'm looking for stuff.
There's all of 10 pages in that magazine. It don't take you that long.
4 minutes later.
Get to work. You can go outside.
2 minutes later, the teacher takes notice and steps in. She's kind, patient, and helpful, and he's able to move forward with her help. Ian works diligently and quietly thereafter. But 5 minutes later.
All right, how many people are ready to start on the next thing? Okay, some of you are ready. I can see that. So what I'm going to do is ask everybody that's not finished with their collage, just put their glue, their scissors, and stuff down. And look up there so you know what to do next. Okay? I'm not going to go on until everybody's paying attention. So your scissors and your glue need to be down and you need to be looking at me. Haley? I have a little slideshow to show you about the
Ian, pay attention to what she's got going on.
You're going to get to go back to the little club.
The teacher begins lecturing, and eventually Ian lays his head down on his desk while he's listening to what she has to say. 12 minutes later, when she's wrapping up the lecture, but before she's done, the following happens.
We need this. Lift up.
Heavy, right?
Not a pillow.
I was using my arm,
Yeah, well,
so I wasn't using the book as a pillow.
you can go use the wall outside too.
Okay. Anybody have questions?
Stop threatening me.
Okay, just
Everybody
go then.
understand what
It's
is
not
an
a threat.
interior?
Go.
Are you gonna have trees and the sun in your picture?
Come on.
No.
Okay. My mom will hear about this.
Tell Mom you didn't want to work, so you were sent outside.
I was working.
Tell the whole story. Thank you.
I will.
Good.
Right around my neck. Right around my neck too. Brick wall. Oh, my watch. My watch. She can't threaten me.
Yes, he's being annoying, but yes, he's had it. You'll notice she didn't give him any time to comply with her directive. She just hauls him out of the room. She disappears momentarily and then returns.
No, Ian, get out of the rain. Get over here.
Why?
Out of the rain. Give your mom more to tell. Tell her how I put your back against the wall out of the rain, too, okay?
She disappears again, and momentarily, she reappears again.
Back up.
I'm not in the rain.
Go to the wall.
I'm not in the rain.
Out of the rain.
I'm not in the rain.
Okay, well, I'll just hang out here with you.
You can do that.
She comes back about some 10 minutes later.
Just your backpack and stuff.
Okay.
Notice that when she is civil to him, he is civil right back. Then Mr. Murphy joins them.
Does the rain feel good today?
Keep threatening me about telling me to go outside in the rain. It's not funny. You see me laughing?
When you say she, who are you talking? Don't talk into the screen like that, Ian. You're gonna stand out in the rain, get wet, and then blame a teacher for it. Drop a little attitude here, boy. Seriously.
Ian's had it. He can't take anymore, and he begins to decompensate. This, in layman's terms, means that his sanity and his functionality is starting to warp and bend under the pressure. If it doesn't stop, he'll lose it completely. But apparently that's funny to Ms. Green and a joke to Mr. Murphy.
What are you doing? You praying? Therapy? Are you start keeping a logbook of some sort?
No, but you know, I really should.
Yeah.
CIA.
Uh-huh. Because things are hurt. Ian, are you gonna shut down now? What's going on? What's wrong, man? Hey. What's going on? What's wrong? I mean, why are you acting strangely? Oh, that hurt. You don't want to talk? Huh. All right. Want to call home? Will your mom come get you? What do you got next period?
Science.
With who?
On wall.
How do you think you want to do in there today?
As long as Miss Green's not in there, I'll do fine.
Oh, come on now.
This is a special ed aide and a special ed teacher with a special ed child that they're supposed to know about. Lord help us. One of the most interesting things about this is my child was sitting in a room, pushed to the point of mental health crisis, and no one told me about it. Not a soul, not a word. But Ms. Green is a good person. Mr. Murphy said so. Lunch right before the next art class.
Are you just not communicating with anyone?
I honestly don't know why the hell he's not talking.
Can I know why you're not talking? Can you have a guess on why he's not talking?
Because he's him. Why the fuck was that?
What?
He said something!
What?
He said something!
What are you guys talking about?
He said something. He said what?
What are you guys talking about?
Why were you not talking for the longest time?
I was not talking.
Yeah, you're talking right now. Okay.
I don't know why you guys are saying I wasn't talking before. No, you weren't. I just got here. I just got here.
Okay. We are going to work on our
Just got here.
No, you're not.
Okay, our full body.
Alright, yeah, I don't get a finger.
As soon as the kids are released to work in art class,
You're not gonna work again today?
My mom told me if you tell me that again to not say anything.
Okay,
So I'm
you're
not.
not gonna work again today?
Do I have a partner? No. Sarcasm is not funny. It was funny.
What did your mom tell you to not talk to Miss Green?
Well, actually, she didn't.
No, she didn't.
I decided not to talk to her. So I got in trouble for saying don't threaten me, so.
Why do you not like to do work?
No, I just don't like it that Miss Green likes to threaten me to send me outside.
Ian, I'm gonna threaten you.
Okay, do it. Exactly.
I don't know.
Roasted.
Roasted.
God, my head.
Disney Warfare, Mickey Mouse versus Goofy.
And the teacher appears, once again very kind, very helpful.
Can I talk to you for a minute? The way you look at me, so I know you're listening.
Yeah. Jacob, I can see you.
Do you understand what your assignment is? Okay, so you're going to make a collage with a figure in it.
I know.
It's going to be inside. Okay? Do you need a book? Another book? To find a figure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Could use one. I feel terrible.
And do you need more space?
I'm good.
Okay.
I don't feel really good.
And then we'll, do you have it?
I don't have any friends in here.
Well, is there somebody that you'd like to ask to do the pose for you? Okay. Find something you like first, and then I'll help you find something.
I said that's what I'm gonna do with Sean now.
Can I sit outside and look for it? Because I feel terrible. I think
I'll give you 5 minutes out there. You want to take a chair?
Huh?
You want to take a chair?
I'm good.
How are you today?
I'm good. 583.
How'd you do? Did you find something yet? Okay, you gotta come back in now. You can look for more time in here if you need to.
The rest of the class, a classmate helps him, but try as hard as he might, Ian just can't manage to focus in on his work. 11:26:13. The kids had just been released to see to their work, and Ian was looking at art pictures trying to decide which one he was going to use.
The energy that you're pushing pushes the pen onto the thing, onto the
Any work today, Ian?
which causes it to go. So a lot of the kickback.
And hear what she has to say about speaking to Ian.
My grandma did that one.
Oh, no, I'm not allowed to talk to him.
Aaron, the one that I just handed out to you is the easiest one.
And as Ian finishes up his paper,
Alright, well I'm done anyways.
Billy's working on that.
Why is Billy working on that?
No. He's working on this. He's supposed to be. I was just drawing.
Ian, do you have the paper to turn in?
This is it. I talked to Miss Butler.
Oh, Billy.
She's always trying to get me in trouble.
and at the end of the day.
I don't even know either, so.
No, an art class.
What?
How come you don't talk to Mrs. Green? What's the deal on that? What is I'm trying to help, dude.
Likely. Trying to help my ass.
On several occasions this school year, someone has claimed Ian smells offensive. Interestingly enough, it first came from art class, and Ms. Green was the one who supposedly relayed the information to Mr. Murphy. With later incidents, I wasn't told who complained, just that it was staff. aka not a teacher. It was all just a bit confusing since Ian clearly didn't have an offensive smell when any of a handful of people tried to detect one. The following brought everything sharply into focus, though. 12-19-13.
Why do what?
Yes, I play wrestling.
Shower in the bath.
I choose not to say anything about that.
Did you get that? Ms. Green said she wonders why some people don't take baths or a shower as she walks by Ian. Did you hear the laughter of the whole class? Now, with this kind of thing going on, exactly how is he supposed to find a partner like she previously advised him to do? She is clearly giving her stamp of approval to treat Ian with disrespect and derision.
Are you not working?
This is what Aaron wants to drive to prom. Yeah.
Just send me to the office. I need to go to the office.
1:16-14. Watch as the bath and shower thing transfers to the kids, which is what she intended all along. But this is the boy that has been helping Ian and has been his friend. And hear him asking. He doesn't know what to think. It must be correct. The aide saying it, right?
Alright, Ian, do you take showers?
What do you ask?
Like, it's not like you do. We need to use like Axe or something.
I don't use Axe.
I'll give you a bottle of like cologne.
I already have my cologne. I just don't wear it. You know what cologne I have? It's like a really old cologne. And it smells like man.
It smells like man.
It smells manly. The thing is called Black Extreme, so you know it has to smell like man. Everyone else said it's called Black Extreme.
Listen here as the aide cusses in Ian's direction. If you listen carefully, you'll hear her talking about laying on the damn table. And you'll also hear her engaging with other students around here to talk trash about Ian. What gets me is you can hear the teacher right there. Why is she not doing anything? She's talking normally and closing out class as if nothing is happening. Does she not hear what's going on around her?
No.
What is that? No.
5 minutes, guys. Well.
I can't read it.
Ian reports that the aide takes another jab at him and at me, making the comment that she's not allowed to talk to him. You can hear his response.
You kind of fail at that. By yelling at me to get off the table that you technically talk to me. No. Free of speech.
That's power, Ian.
Yeah, flat power. Yeah, flat power.
Right there.
You talk all I want. Freedom of speech.
The aide keeps poking at him, and Ian's getting to the end of his rope with this. And again, there's the teacher going on as if nothing's happening. Does she not hear this going on in her class?
Do I have to get up? No, I'm too lazy. My lazy-itis is kicking in.
Get up.
Thanks, Allison.
Get up and you can take a referral to the office. I'm not doing this anymore. It's not fair.
Good.
Everybody else.
Send me to the office before not getting up.
Get up. Okay, you have here.
See you, Dawson. I'd rather go to the office so I can call my mom and go home to say that I was sent to the office for not staying up. I was reading.
You make a choice to go. That's your choice. You can stay here and look at your portal.
No, you keep threatening me to send me, so therefore you have already sent me. So which office do you want me to go to, though?
You need to go with the paper. Come here.
Alright.
You need to go or you choose to look at your portal?
You keep threatening me.
Are you choosing to go or are you choosing to look at the portal? Which one?
I'm not gonna. If
Which one
you
you
want me
gonna
to
choose?
stay here, I'm not gonna stand up. So
So you're choosing not to do it? That's defiance. So which one are you choosing?
It needs to be noted that part of Ian's condition includes a severe problem with sleeping. He goes about his life, much of it exhausted. The special ed teacher should know this. She has the paperwork, she has his diagnosis, she should be familiar with this. Yet she chooses to insist he's just being defiant. Yes, he's being a little bit defiant because this has been going on for months. I'd be a little defiant too.
Going to look at your portal to see what you're
I'm
missing?
not gonna look at my portal.
Okay, and it's a defiance. Sharon, do you have any referrals?
I've got it.
I've got one. You don't want to look at your portal and see what you're missing. So you don't want to
Nope.
pass your classes? Which do you want to do?
I've already chosen.
All right.
Call my mom so she can come pick me up.
So go to your office.
Dude, you kept threatening me too, so then you should do it.
No, I asked you.
All talk, no action.
That is working. So I guess what would we call that?
Well, you can call it whatever you want.
Would it be called defiance, I guess?
I wasn't refusing to work.
Hmm?
I wasn't refusing to work, so it's not defiance.
I gave you a choice.
Yeah, and I took my choice to read. But
You weren't reading.
I wasn't on 201, I was on 101. Difference. 100 difference. Try to get full of just explanations.
Is Neil yours?
Yeah, he's in there. He's in the third drawer, I think. Right in the front. And I think I put, yeah.
I just want to put a copy of it.
And today's the 17th. We've talked. Let's see. We've talked with your mom before.
You have not talked to my mom about this.
1/17/14. I received an email apparently drafted right as Ian was going to be sent to the office from Ms. Hayes. The email reads as follows. Ian refused to work this morning during study skills. When given the choice to work on assignments from other classes, parentheses, including reading for AR, or go to the office, he chose the latter. I gave him several opportunities to remain in class. Just wanted to let you know. But all is not as the email would make it seem. He was in fact reading. She's mad because he didn't want to get up and look at the parent portal information, and that is why she sent him to the office. Please listen. This is him reading prior to the conversation that follows. You can hear him turning the pages of the book.
D-E-A-S-T. Are you charging that?
Yes.
Three does. Yeah, big.
What?
My glasses.
Not bad.
Thanks for turning me.
They look good.
Bottle glasses.
This one's a Coke bottle.
Thick.
This one's a Coke bottle. Ian? Can't sleep in this class. Go.
Sure.
Good morning. Well, we really liked our sub. Heather Hollis. I know, do you know her? But I'll just talk to him later. So, all right. Thanks, Annette. Bye. Huh? Sure. O-P-E-R-A. Hey, Ian, what are you going to work on?
Dang it, you broke my train of thought.
Well, you need to have a train of thought going through your brain that doesn't have your head down. And you have to be working on something, or you're just going to go to the office, because I'm not doing it anymore. So figure it out. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes to figure it out. Okay, or you can set your watch for 5 minutes.
Ow.
Mine's starting. Yeah.
Good, if she's sending me to the office, I get to go home.
Yeah.
My dad took me over. My dad and my grandma took me over to
And after that, back to reading.
You want to go?
They're not.
I'll make them feel better.
No, I'm not trying to make you feel better. They're not that big. Okay, well then give them to me and I'll go take them back.
But it's not like
I just have to get used. No, I just have to get used. Did we get more?
we got more mix.
Right on.
And something for Brock.
Oh.
I need to go make this whole online. We go get messed up. That's fine.
Oh, you must have rented a book.
Because that's probably the default address.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that's the teacher one. That I said you should probably just send that.
Maybe. Or, no, maybe. Maybe it's F-R-E-D.
Okay, Ian.
Hmm.
Oh, thank you for reading. All right, let's see, Billy. What is it?
Huh?
When do you guys take this turn in?
Maybe.
Go ahead. Ian,
Huh?
you have help to do?
I don't know.
Well, let's look on the portal. Because I know Benjamin can help, and he has help to do. In the exact same class, different period. Okay, one more. Are we good?
Okay, I'll do one more.
And then I gotta get you in. So.
Okay, then I can do the next one.
Okay.
Hold on, let your head out. Alright, 17.
Okay, let's look at the portal. Come here. Ian,
Do I have to get up?
get up.
No. I'm too lazy. My lazy-itis is kicking in.
Get up.
Thanks, Allison.
Get up and you can take a referral to the office. I'm not doing this anymore. It's not fair. Everybody
Good.
else.
Send me to the office before not getting up.
Get up. Okay, you have here.
See you, Dawson. I'd rather go to the office so I can call my mom and go home to say that I was sent to the office for not staying up. I was reading.
You make a choice to go. That's your choice. You can stay here and look at your portal.
No, you keep threatening me to send me, so therefore you have already sent me. So which office do you want me to go to, though?
You need to go with the paper. Come here.
Alright.
You need to go or or are you choosing to look at your portal?
You keep threatening me.
Are you choosing to go or are you choosing to look at the portal? Which one?
I'm not gonna. If
Which one
you
you
want
gonna
me to
choose?
stay here, I'm not gonna stand up. So
So you're choosing not to do it? That's defiance. So which one are you choosing? To look at your portal to see what you're
I'm
missing?
not gonna look at my portal.
Okay, and it's a defiance. Sharon, do you have any referrals?
I've got one.
I've got one. You don't want to look at your portal and see what you're missing. So you don't want to
Nope.
pass your classes? Which do you want to do?
I've already chosen.
All right.
Call my mom so she can come pick me up.
There's your office.
I choose. You kept threatening me too, so then you should do it.
No, I asked you.
All talk, no action.
Instead of working. So I guess what would we call that?
No, you can call it whatever you want.
Would it be called defiance, I guess?
I wasn't refusing to work.
Hmm?
I wasn't refusing to work, so it's not defiance.
I gave you a choice.
Yeah, and I took my choice to read. But
You weren't reading.
I wasn't on 201, I was on 101. Difference. 100 difference. Try to get full of just explanations.
Is Neil yours?
Yeah, he's in there. He's in the third drawer, I think. Right in the front. And I think I put, yeah.
Just want to put a copy of it.
And today's the 17th. We've talked. Let's see. We've talked with your mom before.
You have not talked to my mom about this.
That's just other stuff.
Yeah, but you never called my mom, so that is lying.
Oh, I emailed your mom. That's contact.
And did she answer the email? No, I could just grab my homework for today and just...
There you go.
Alright, thank you. Grab my homework from math today and everything else and just leave.
Okay, I get being annoyed because he didn't want to look at the parent portal. I get that. But to send an email home that is a lie, that says he refused AR reading when he was clearly reading, what's the point of that?
He's got a referral. Yes.
Yes? Alright.
Because I gotta do it.
So I get a little email from Mrs. Hayes.
How come you're not working in study skills this morning? You got a book with you and everything.
I was working.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Chose to go to the office instead of working.
She kept threatening
Head
me.
down. I know, but when you have your head down, that tells the teacher that you're sleeping.
I wasn't sleeping though.
Okay, but can you read with your head up? For the remainder of this period and the rest of today?
I would like to call my mother.
Okay.
If that would be acceptable.
Okay. I mean, are you sick? Do you need to put your
No.
head down?
No.
Okay. But if you put your head down, Ian, I'm just trying, that's what I said, I'll
My
make
head was on the backpack. It wasn't on the desk. So.
Oh, I know, but that means your head down, you're not being attentive.
My head was
Okay.
sideways reading my book.
Okay. Well, then Mrs. Hayes just wants to make sure for all the students, okay, that your head's up. So the referral just means, it doesn't mean like you're gonna get a detention,
I know.
all right? So what I'm asking you is can you go back to class and read and do your work with your head up? And then that solves all the problems.
I'd still like to call my mother.
Okay. Is mom going to make your head stay up? Because that's what we're asking for you to do, and that's not a whole lot.
No. I just want to call my mother.
Okay. What's her phone number? 27. Hey, good morning, Paula. This is Julia Sirik up at Argonaut. Hi. Hey, Ian's not in trouble. Mrs. Hayes, who he has for study skills this morning, had the kids all working on things. Ian got a book. He came up with a note saying that apparently he just wasn't going to keep his head up during class. So, it wasn't being attentive to what was going on or what he was supposed to do. So I talked to Ian. I said, well, can we make a deal? Apparently he told me he was trying to read with his head down, turned to the side on his backpack on his desk. So I said, let's make a deal. You're not in trouble. You just go back to class and show the teacher that you can read with your head up. That way you don't have to tilt your book. And so that's all I asked him to do, and if he could do that. So he goes, well, can I call my mom? And I said, sure. So anyway, that's kind of at least the foundation of where we're at. So yeah. But it's hard for a teacher to say, okay, you got your head down because you're reading, or your head down because you're not paying attention, or whatever. So, no. Yeah. So anyway, he'd like to talk to you, but that's the only thing we're asking, if he can. And he's got his book, and he's got a nice Robin Cook book. So that's all we'd like him to do, is just, So anyway, here he is. Okay.
Hello, Mother. Yes, but she repeatedly kept saying, I'll send you to the office, and when I got up to come to the office, before that she started saying she wanted to check if I had any work, and she's like, and she wouldn't tell me unless I stood up, and she's like, I'm going to send you to the office if you don't stand up to look at this portal. So
I know, it's terrible. Thanks for thinking. Okay, we'll see you in a little while. Okay, alright.
I can try. Because it's easier to read my book. Sideways, I wasn't asleep. Yeah. Alright. 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 Yes, Mother. Alright. Alright.
Okay. Okay, Paula. I think we're all good. Cool. No. She just gave him a choice. She asked him to get up and actually get up out of his desk or whatever and come over and look at the portal. I'm not sure. I think she just wanted to make sure that he was in tune to what was going on. So he's not in trouble. I don't need to send you anything. We can take care of this. And I don't. Cool. Okay. There we go. That's all we're asking him to do. Thanks, Paula. Okay, have a good weekend. Thanks, bye. Okay, I actually have to go down and talk to Mr. Case anyway. Okay, fair deal? Tired this morning?
Yeah, I'm always tired.
Okay, so you're gonna go around that way?
I guess.
Notice the phone ringing about a minute before the conversation that follows.
Oh, he's working on his hair, his face.
Hi!
Hey, Dawson.
How are you?
Hey,
I can still see.
working on that.
No.
How do you know they're lying? How do you know they're not lying?
You got them on there?
How do I know that she's not lying about the thermometer? No, she's not lying about the thermometer. She read it. She would have told you.
I don't want to talk to you right now.
No, she wouldn't. Have people here.
So Ian, one more time. Do you have your mattress on you?
And I don't want to talk to you right now.
You want to talk to me? Okay, so just double checking then. I did my part. You didn't do your part. You guys did.
What? What is wrong with you?
Oh, hook, line, and sinker. So, should I send him or no? Should I send him or are you just gonna call? Right now? I'll do information, but I wonder if you want it later. Alright, so I'm on this thing. Thank you. So now can I just, do I have to have the disc in, the CD in,
No.
I don't have to have it in there to play?
No.
And I have a whole bunch of other ones too, like that. But after you finish, if you get everything done, you can do it.
Okay.
I could probably do it.
Ian?
What?
In a little bit, Mr. Perry, like to see you.
Alright. Don't know why.
You can go now or you can go in a little bit, it's up to you.
I don't know why.
I don't do this.
I'll go.
Not my business.
I'll go. Right now. I'll go right now.
First or go?
I'll go. Do I need my stuff?
I have no idea.
Alright.
Not in the biz. In my beeswax. My other children would say.
Did you get a call?
Mom, your beeswax.
Did you get a call or something?
Oh, he's called. Look at, see this red light? I get calls all the time. Remember I told you I wish my phone would break so I wouldn't get any more calls? Well, let's... I'm just kidding.
Let me remind you that early on in the class, when a call came in, the phone rang. Yet after she has the interaction with Ian and supposedly gets the call from the office for him to come in, you don't hear any phone ringing. Yet she's clearly on the phone. They didn't call her, she called them. Yet Miss Hayes makes a big deal to Ian, implying that the office called her when it is clear that it is she who called the office. That may be neither here nor there, but it is really odd. And since she did not make any allegations about Ian whatsoever to the person on the other end of the phone, this trip to the office was obviously pre-planned. Did you hear hook, line, and sinker? That would imply the traditional and universal meaning that someone bought something hook, line, and sinker. Who bought what hook, line, and sinker? There wasn't anything for Ian to buy that morning prior to that point. In fact, the visit to the office was not to address anything he had done that morning.
You can go in now.
Huh?
You can go in now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello?
How you doing?
Feel terrible.
Okay, so we're gonna call. Did you call your mom?
No.
Okay.
I already told my mom. She told me to come anyways.
Okay. So listen, Hayes and Von Wall told me that they think that you. Yeah. So, yeah. Right. I got it. I will. That. I've got a couple kids saying that they think that you need to kind of smell a little bit better. Okay, I know we've already talked about that.
With that problem, you must call my mom.
No, I know, but is that something you think there's a problem with or not? Honestly, tell me, just
I
between me
won't-
and you. I don't like
I
calling your
won't-
mom about that kind of stuff.
I-
I mean, really, I don't.
Her orders. Not to talk about it unless she's here.
Okay, I understand that, but it's uncomfortable for me to have to come and talk to you about that too. But it's like, you got to do what you gotta do as far as, because you need to have the same stuff on yesterday. Exactly.
No.
What'd you have on different?
A green shirt. Different sweats.
Okay, green shirt? Okay. Alright, so anyway, I'll call your mom and tell her you don't feel good and she needs to come and get you. Did somebody take your temperature?
Yeah, but apparently I don't have a fever, although I'm just having the symptoms of a fever, just getting really hot than just freezing cold.
Right, no, I know, those are the symptoms. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and sit back out there and I'm gonna give your mom a call, okay?
Need some water. Surprising this all started with a sore throat. It's crazy.
Could it be that Mr. Vicari bought something hook, line, and sinker, since he was the one who spoke to Ian about his supposed offensive odor? Could it be that Mr. Vicari bought the claim that Ian had an offensive odor, hook, line, and sinker? One has to wonder. And now Hayes and Von Wald are implicated in this nasty campaign about Ian's supposedly offensive odor. I can tell you that I detect something utterly distasteful, and it is not Ian.
Go to your next class, okay?
Alright, I have PE next.
Huh?
I have PE next.
Okay.
Did you call my mom?
I tried, but I haven't been able to reach me back.
Now that's interesting. My main base phone unit with 2 handsets lives on my computer desk. That morning, I was at my computer desk all morning working on the computer, and nobody called me. And I have call waiting. Mr. Vicari never attempted to get a hold of me like he claimed. It is important to note that I tried to share the truth of where these allegations might be originating from, and he was not interested in hearing what I had to share, and he shut me down directly. Miss Hayes is being less than truthful about the office calling her, and Mr. Vicari, despite his mild manner, is being less than truthful about calling me. What else are they being less than truthful about? Again, one has to wonder.
When you mix 3 primary colors together, you can get brown, or you can mix 2 complementary colors together. Where are the complementary colors? They are opposites on the color wheel. You see the dot? Okay, here's one from last period. Down here. So this person put a circle of yellow and a circle of purple and then blended it in between to get brown. Okay, so opposites on the color wheel will make brown. Also, the 3 primary colors will make brown. So you practice, just experiment a little bit with those so you can see how it works. Okay? So this is all you have to do new for each day. Alright? When you're done, I want somebody, maybe Mrs. Green, to do this. If there's any salvageable paint, we'll just stick it in, a couple of things. And then get those, if there's pallets to clean. If somebody's not working, they're cleaning pallets. Okay?
You hear pretty much at the beginning of the class that Ian is asked to do water duty, and he sighs heavily, then complies.
Ian, go take the water.
No.
You have clean water.
Water.
Kaylin, do you want to do water duty?
Give me the water.
You look like you did.
But what you're going to do is hope this is gonna be
Aaron, look, I made brown.
Holy crap. Ian, can you teach me your ways?
No.
Part of the assignment that day was to mix the watercolors to make brown, so Ian is still working. Part of the assignment was if you weren't actively working on something, you were cleaning pallets. Listen to Ian cleaning pallets. He's still working.
There's a pallet cruise. Sorry.
The middle of class, washing another pallet.
Awesome.
Andy can be heard washing another and another. Just remember the fact that he's working here, because next week the teacher says this never existed. He didn't do any work. And as soon as his interest and focus flags for more than just a moment,
Ian, you need to do something. Other than sit there.
Hi, here's something for you to do.
I already have something to do.
Why aren't you doing it then?
Because it's in my backpack.
Go get it out. Ian, right now, get sleep. I'm going to send you over like your Murphy if you don't move. 15 to 18.
Go ahead and do it.
You've got about 5 seconds to start moving.
I moved. Huh? Awesome. Tony ho! Don't let her in. Don't.
Come on! Okay. Come on!
You need some help? Oh crap!
Hey, move.
You ain't do. But not to. No.
Let go. Yeah.
Aaron.
The fuck You're really annoying. I just want to
Ian?
Huh? What?
Here.
What?
No, I was seeing what the fuck you wanted because you're like, Aaron. You look like you wanted him to do something.
No.
Yeah. Pretty sure. I know Art 2 is in the middle of a project, so you could do our own stuff today because we're starting something new.
What is this one? I forget which one's right-handed.
How many are
I think it's this one. All the tables have 4 or 5, I don't know. But our table still has room.
What table's that? Way back there?
Yeah. These are right-handed, I think.
I never knew the difference. I'm always I'm left-handed, so nothing ever works
Do these
for me.
feel comfortable to you in your left hand?
Yes.
Okay, then those are left-handed ones. Although I could use both. I'm not really picky on how my scissors feel in my hand. Really bad at left-handed stuff. You want some scissors?
Like bistro, bistro, delicious. Yeah,
huh? These are right-handed. Are you left-handed? Alicia, don't talk her ear off.
What?
Don't talk her ear off. Hey Curtis, have you ever wanted to go to Disneyland and just clip the string on a little kid's balloon?
No, because that'd be...
Is that a bad thing that I feel like I have to?
Because that little kid's paying for something, or their parents are paying for something, you're just fucking it all up. You're like, what? That's when I take scissors and chop off his fucking head. And I put it in a meat grinder and turn it into a pie.
Ian, do you want the rest of the chimichurri?
Huh?
Do you want the rest of the chimichurri?
I'm good. I had a burrito.
How do you eat during this?
I just got back from work.
Yeah, shit works.
Sorry, I heard it's not us.
Dawson found a...
Here you hear Ian getting to work. This is the middle of class. You can hear Ian still working very quietly.
Look at the plays now. I want to do it now. That is easy. Look at that. That's so easy. It's unbelievably easy.
Well, then why would you pressure that?
No, I mean it's easy right now. Look at that. It's so easy. That doesn't look so real. So easy. No, that's what we basically, I made a great picture of 7 years on my own place and I think that's what I kept hitting it.
No, he's gonna do it right now.
I just kidding.
He's gonna do it right now.
What are his real mustangs? They're like, kind of like...
Fenders?
No, kind of like...
Oh, that one. Okay.
I believe it's like... that's the kind of mustang.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like white right here.
Yeah.
And I found one. Oh,
What?
Something's wrong.
It's okay, so it's 1, 2, 3 right there.
James doesn't want to. He's in a sock. He's gonna try and sell his release. And my grandpa wants another one.
Maybe you flip it around?
So this is the start of one.
That's right here?
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling my grandpa might
Oh, really?
Over?
And then, hang on, Billy. Yes, I like that. One, 3, 6, 6, 9, and 12.
I'm just saying if I wind it up on the line.
I need a mic. No, think about all the calls you guys got. You're traveling in one step.
Down. Looks like you moved it down correctly. I wonder if you moved it over.
The sub is helping another student, and you hear Ian trying to follow along with what she's telling the other student.
Okay, I officially don't like this pencil.
Okay, you see how 1 inch doesn't start till there?
Just grind it up.
Okay, there's 12. So every 3 inches make a dot.
It's a what?
3, 6, 9. Do the same thing at the bottom.
Nope.
3, 6, 9.
It's not a work one.
Now we're going to line up. I think the big line is what you want. Let's see, 3, 6, that big line there. On the other side of the line. 9. Yeah. Right over there. Yeah, a little bit over further.
That's yours to make them darker.
Okay. Now we're going to line up our dots. This should work. At least better than before.
What's the day? Is it
Line
25th?
up these dots. Wait, let me see. Okay. Pardon me?
What's the date?
That's 27. One more. Wait, let me see. There we go. Okay, now we need to make 2. Okay, make a dot at 3 and 6. Wait just a sec. There, 3 and 6. That's right. That's right. Let's go to the other side. 3 and 6, then we'll line them up. Wait. Okay. No, over here further. Yeah, forget that one.
Oh yeah, I do remember this song.
No, over here by the bigger.
And then Ms. Green happens.
And then for a while we found a bass hound or an eagle.
That's not what the assignment is. What?
Well, that was stupendously helpful. That's not the assignment, and walking away. And here comes the sub.
Excuse me, sir. That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
Awesome.
You need to get with the program. Which one is out of the running here? You don't want this one then? That one is the bad one. The bad one.
Oh wow, that was even more helpful still. That's not what he's supposed to be doing and to get with the program. Well, that's the end of any work for today, that's for sure. Yet he manages to go a little longer.
You gotta admit, that looks pretty good.
Of what?
Right here.
I guess. If you like it, I like it.
This was only a minute or two after the sub's comment, and you hear the girl's voice saying, "That's awesome, Ian." That wasn't a teacher or the aide. That was another student across the table. That's the sole place he's getting any encouragement. Now, I want you to remember this work being done, because next week the teacher claims none of this ever existed. He didn't do any work. In short order, Miss Green walks over, and another student is having trouble with the assignment. Listen to her carefully and studiously assist him to understand how to do the assignment correctly. There is no, "oh, this isn't right," and walking away for this student.
You're such an artiste.
Yep.
Jacob. That's why I tell you whenever she's telling you how to do it, to listen. Pay attention. Because you don't do that, do you? Where's your pattern? Is this it? No. Is that what you used?
Yeah.
Where's the top and the bottom piece that you cut out? Did you remember how you're supposed to slide it down and move it over? Huh? This needs to go over here. Did you remember the tape part?
Kind of. On the bottom right.
This is totally wrong. You did a good job drawing these.
I would just say that's my pattern.
No. You gotta follow directions, dude. That's why I tell you to listen.
That's why I don't like art. Too much of this shit. I thought art is your own creativity.
It is once you learn how to be creative.
That's creative. That's art.
Just
that, man. Yeah.
Because part of the grade, you have to take this. Listen up. See, you're ignoring me, and I'm trying to direct you.
Oh no.
See this? Once you get this tape together, it gets taped to the back of your paper when you turn it in, so that she can see what you were using as a template.
No. Okay, Billy. Yeah, do I have to take that?
Oh my God.
So this is the top.
Yeah.
That needs to come down here and tape it. And this is the side, and it needs to come over here and be taped. And then you don't switch it. See how you switched it here?
Yeah.
You flipped it over. You don't do that. It's going to be this all the way across. You don't have to finish. Just get a start.
But you said it was due this period.
It is due this period. But wait, you don't have to be completely finished. You just have to show that you've done a little something instead of sitting on your butt, doing nothing.
Yeah.
3, 6, 9. That's not on the 9. Do you cook?
Me? No.
You don't cook? That's not on the 9. Obviously you don't follow directions. Who keeps farting over here? Who's farting over here?
I have them small. That's the 9 right there.
See this line right there?
Yeah.
That's the 9.
I put it on that line.
You did not.
Yeah, I did. Right there.
Right there. Show me where you did. See these marks?
Did you catch the little comment about farting? Again, a bad odor right near Ian. She just doesn't stop. And here you hear him turning it into the teacher. What he's got done, which he's not happy with.
It's worthless.
I gotta redo it.
I got it.
I gotta redo the grid. Yeah.
Where's your name? Sorry.
My name's all curvy.
I just want to let you know.
Line up! Alright, Ian.
Yeah?
You are going to be now going to the library every day. I'm
Alright.
going to be giving you work.
But I'm leaving today, so...
Well, you're going to go there until you leave, and I'll send them up
Alright.
there. No, come here. You
What?
got to see what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing.
Y'all just hurt my feelings.
Until you're off this doctor's note. Because you don't get to just sit around and get credit, so I have to give you makeup work.
Oh, I'm already off the... You didn't get it?
I got one yesterday that said you were out indefinitely for a recurring
We
injury.
gave one on Tuesday that said I can do PE.
No, that's not the last one I got. Said no jumping or running. Basically, what can you do in here? We do a lot of that stuff.
Well, I can get... The other note I got on Tuesday because I went on Tuesday to get my ankle checked out. My ankle is fine. I can do PE, but not like jumping jacks or running for long distances.
Yeah, but that's a lot of what we do is running around in here.
Then I walk. It's the only way, so...
Because that's not how I read it, because we do so much of running and stuff in here. And, how do you play basketball? That involves running.
If you want me to go to the office, I can go to the office.
For what?
You just
the
said...
last one in my box. I'll go
Just
get
send
it.
me to the office. Go ahead. Just
No, I don't want to send you to the office. You're not in trouble. Why do I
give me
want
the
to send you to the office?
send me to the library.
I'll bring the note out next time. I'll reread it. But for me, that's a lot of what we do. So that limits you to about...
I'll give you the copy that my mom made, but okay. Just send me to the library.
I got one in my box is what I'm telling you.
Gosh.
You can do more than that than have mom write.
Too sick for this.
Okay, so what I did is I gave you topics. What I want you to do is each day you're going to go up and do research using the internet or books. And you can choose one topic at a time, and you're going to bring me back with just a one-page, front-page written summary. Like looking up the history of these sports. These are all sports we do in here. Or these topics down here. Okay? And then you need to return at the end of the period and show me what you've completed to get credit. So I'm going to send that. That's your pass to get in the library. And I'm going to send you up there, and if they come with a note, then I'll go ahead and send you to the library again. All right. In your line, try to take roll and start stretching. So have your mom sign this, and I'll talk to Mark with emailing them.
I'm going to the office.
Where are you going?
Call my mom.
Why?
Reasons.
Wait. You just can't get up and leave without permission. That is not okay.
What?
Let's talk outside in private first.
Have you ever thought about going in this first?
Hey, you just can't get up at your leisure and decide what you're doing, dude. That's just not the rules of school.
Hey, Kata.
Okay? So talk to me and then we'll make a good decision.
Well, my mom told me to call her if they try to get me to talk about my showering and cleansing schedule.
Okay.
And I didn't call her, so I want to call her to let her know that they have just done that.
And that's what you do on break. You don't do that during class time.
I'm not so sure my mom will be happy about that
Your
one.
mom can call me about it, but that's something you do on break. Okay? Come on in.
Well, I'll stay out here.
Okay, you can stay out here, but that's your choice. You do those things on break. That's what high school kids do.
Oh, I could sneak. It's not the hardest.
Okay, so obviously we went to Starbucks this morning. But yeah, this guy's sticker on the back of his car, I like didn't believe it because it was so weird.
Where's that?
Right here. Joe, yeah, come follow me. There's a gal in there. Do you have a meeting this morning?
I don't know.
Are you waiting for this young man?
Is it Ian?
Yeah.
Then yes, I am.
All right.
Thank you. Hi, Ian. My name's Trish. I'm a social worker with CPS. Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions?
If this is about my smell or anything that has to do with my personal life, you're gonna have to contact my mom.
Okay, I can do that. That's not a problem.
Alright.
Can I give you my business card at least?
Sure.
Okay.
I won't talk about my personal life unless my
That's
mom's
fine.
here, so.
That's totally fine. There you go. You have a good day.
Alright.
I'll call your mom. Not a problem.
Don't waste time. Easy. That was easy.
You share a picture?
No. It was about my personal life, and I said just call my mom. Later.
Well, CPS did contact me. In fact, they came out to the house. I showed them around the clean house, the laundry freshly folded on the couch, the bathroom with all the cleaning products for, to shower with. Then I gave them the doctor's contact information so they could contact the doctor. They did. The doctor told them how many times I had been in the last couple of months, and each and every time there was no smell. And I had taken Ian directly from school to the doctor. So that was the end of that, and it was found to be unfounded. It was simply punishment for me not going along with what they thought I should go along with. CPS has not given the school satisfaction. The level of harassment increases dramatically, and now they come at him in waves and start trying to manufacture something they can get him on. His grandmother and I were afraid that this was going to happen, but I have to contend with this little law that says I have to send Ian to this place with these people.
Morning. Or afternoon.
How are you doing? Work today?
Still sick.
You gonna be ready to work though?
I'm tired and I'm sick, so.
Okay, if you're not ready to work,
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell my mom that you just said that, and she's not gonna be happy.
No, I'm just saying, if you're not gonna work, then you're gonna go over there. I'm just warning you.
And you're gonna go down with everyone else. Don't go there. Bell hasn't rang, the second one.
I'd like to talk to you today.
Alright.
Thank you for acknowledging me that I wanted to ask you something, okay? The reason that I brought up that I wanted you to work today in class is that the last time I was here, you didn't do any work. And then I was gone and I got a report that you wouldn't do any work.
Remember I warned you that this was going to happen, that he was working, and they later would claim that he wasn't working? Mrs. Green claimed it. Well, here it is.
So I'm hoping that you're going to be ready to work again today. Okay? I'm just trying to set the mood so that it's positive as I want.
Hey, Jacob.
Positive? Setting the mood so it's positive? Way to build a positive environment, Miss Butler. Yep. Threatening a kid with punishment before the bell even rings. I'm sure that's going to do it. The last day that she was there that she talked about would have been the 23rd. And is she purposely lying, or is she really that clueless about what goes on in her class? On the recording, you can clearly hear Ian working. He's drawing. He's going to the water to wash out pellets like they were told to do. And this is amazing considering the day before the principal had targeted him for interrogation and harassment. Now, I don't know if he actually turned something in, but he was working. He was participating. The day she wasn't there that she spoke of was the 27th. That was the day the sub walked over, told Ian he was doing incorrectly, and then walked away without helping him to understand what he did need to be doing. It was also a day that Miss Green targeted him, once again, making a sly comment about his smell, and was shut down by another student.
I'm going to show you something. Did you use the restroom
No.
at the beginning of the period? Did
No.
you come out to wash some brushes or do anything?
No.
Okay. Did he?
I don't know. I just walked in.
Okay, let me check with Mrs. Butler.
I got water.
You got water from where?
Fountain right there.
Okay. But you didn't use the restroom?
Nope.
You didn't?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ian. You didn't use the restroom?
No. Nice try.
You'll notice they went directly to Ian about this. They didn't ask in class or ask anyone else about this. Now, why would they go directly to Ian? It's not like he has a history of doing stuff like that. His worst crime is having issues getting started on work, and his family not reacting to the school the way the school wants, and CPS yesterday similarly not doing what the school wants. So why is Ian directly targeted for this? And worse, yet again, he's publicly pulled out of class to do it. I mean, how is he supposed to get work done in this environment where he is constantly sent to the office or other places, pulled into the office for whole periods for baloney reasons, and publicly targeted, singled out, and pulled aside in class? Exactly how is he supposed to get work done? How is he supposed to concentrate? How is he supposed to keep an even emotional keel?
It's Friday, Miss Green.
That's all right.
Yeah, you know what that means.
Party.
party.
No, that means you be a douche to everybody until the weekend starts.
What?
Out of the mouths of babes. It's important to state that he never got in trouble for that, beyond being told that he needed to watch himself. Yet Ian's threatened just for walking into the room. If that isn't different treatment, I don't know what is. And a public announcement is made which clues the kids in for the reason that Ian was pulled aside earlier, what they thought to accuse him of.
Bro.
If you guys ever see anybody painting, and you know it's my paint, painting the wall, but even if you, not my paint,
I do it every
I'll give
day.
extra credit to anybody who comes in and tells me.
Like a snitch?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
No.
Are you painting?
Be above snitching everybody in this class.
Why would you do that? She hasn't
I
even
should
shown you how.
I know. Miss Butler, I think they'd get beat up more if they art. I don't like art. So you're just trying to get that person beat up.
Rough for you guys. What it means is, if people keep doing that, then there's not going to be more painting. So that's where it falls out for you guys. So you decide. You see it and you don't do something, you're wrong. She's telling us.
I like Ian, take the blame, fool, so we can all get extra credit. We'll just say that you've been the one doing it.
I like
You're gonna stop.
the fact that I told the school I don't like art.
What makes you say I'm gonna stop?
I don't want to be in line. That's one thing I don't want to do. And of course,
Chris. Chris.
What, bro?
What makes you think I'm gonna stop?
Who do you have as counselor?
Oh!
It took you like 10 hours.
Ian's the criminal, bro.
No, I'm not. I already know who the criminal is.
Me too.
Who is it?
Awesome.
No, you.
What the fuck?
I want to make a picture.
Dude, why the hell would I use paint to paint on a wall that has nothing to do with me?
Because you like this.
Wait, what wall was it, Miss Butler?
Which wall? I'll do a stakeout. Oh, not stakeout.
Sitting there for like.
Just sitting there with steak. Sitting outside with steak.
No, he goes to Outback. He's like, yeah, I'm doing a stakeout. He's eating all their food, and they're like, oh.
And thus ends a day of wave after wave of crap thrown at Ian. I can already tell that next week stands a good chance of being even more difficult and dangerous for Ian's well-being.
Do you have pictures of it? Not yet. I keep forgetting, but I was at work last night. But do you have a Facebook?
What's wrong?
Yeah, I'm just really good.
Alright, give me your last one.
When the disorder's acting up,
Pictures of it and send it on Facebook.
just
Alright,
wait a few minutes and it'll go away.
You guys save this.
What's wrong, man? You look all depressed. You look
Because
like
I
somebody
am.
whacked you in the eye or something. You look so depressed that I smell depression.
I smell depression.
Throwing the shrimp on his
I don't think
Look at me.
you're ready for paper. Are you going to do an art one today?
Oh, I didn't mix it. That's what I did.
I need a yes or a no.
Okay, I know I'm the biggest.
No, I made it.
Yeah,
No.
But if everybody's
Okay, you need to go to Mr. Murphy then if you're not going to answer me.
Alright.
You're being passive aggressive.
Do we start when we get our paper?
Passive aggressive. That's a funny word for what I'm not answering. Well, no, I'll go.
Paper and didn't get it yet. Okay, Chris, you gotta make your colors.
This thing or that group?
Still want it. He's on there, please come back. He's not there, please come back.
No.
I have a strict poop card.
Lily's not there. Hi. No. Oh, okay. Yeah, they came back. Thanks. You know, I tried to get my message. I don't know what the phone is actually here. Ian is not around, and I usually send him a call if that happens. Calls in the meeting. And then I send him to you, or should I send him to Julia? Okay. Bye. Okay.
Miss Butler sent me.
Pardon me?
Miss Butler sent me.
Why?
Apparently I'm not working again.
Why aren't you? Art's fun. Don't you like art? Huh? So were you not working? You want to talk to me in my office? You want to just sit?
We'll talk in your office.
Okay, come on in.
If you want to call her, you can. I mean...
Well, she'll tell me. I mean, she didn't call me, so I don't need to call her.
Then who did she call when she sent me to the office?
She called BJ? Sir?
Don't know. She asked where to send me, so...
Oh, maybe it's... Hey, Annette.
Yeah.
Did Julia just leave her office?
Yeah, she's not in there right now.
She's in there?
She's not in there.
Okay. Okay. Because I don't know. Millie called somebody, but it wasn't me about sending Ian up. Huh?
It wasn't me.
Okay. It wasn't Annette. I don't know. So, what'd she say? Go to the office because you're not working?
I'm pretty sure. You can call her if you want.
No, she called somebody, and I'm not going to get in. So, I guess you just can go ahead and, unless you want to just talk to me about whatever, you can sit out there. Whatever you want to do.
Guess I can call my mom to tell her to pick me up.
Well, you got another class.
I do, but I don't really do anything in there.
What class is it?
Science.
Why don't you?
Because...
You don't want to?
No, it's not that I don't want to.
Well, why don't you? Hang on one
It's
second.
hard
Hold
to
that thought.
explain.
Think about the answer to that. Just here, okay. Hey, Jen. Hey, you get the email I sent out? Well, let me just read it to you. Good afternoon. Our minimum day teacher training will center around our school loop website, putting together classroom website. Please see the attached info, especially the Ion Junior High teacher link. Once you review the teacher website, please gather for the training any information/documents that you would like to have as part of your specific classroom site. Jennifer Putnam and Matt Hovey will facilitate this session. The training will take place on Wednesday, February 12th at 1:20 p.m. in the computer lab, room 5. See you there. Is that okay? Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Okay? Alright, bye. Okay. No, so I don't know the answer why you're not doing work, so why don't you tell me?
No.
No
Just
what?
plain and simple no.
No what?
No. I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, then go see.
Alright. Plus, I don't trust you.
Since Ian was kicked out of last art class, he didn't get his palette to do his work with. Listen to his friend next to him telling the teacher that Ian doesn't have his palette and needs one.
Yeah.
You ain't need to colors.
Nowhere? Let me see that.
You have to get one of these from her. Miss Butler, he needs one of these. I just want to do my own drawing. Yeah, so you get your own thing. You have to do your own? Yeah. So I don't have to do this? Yeah, you do. You have to get a picture of it. I'm sorry.
Listen to Ian flipping through the pictures to select one as he's been told to do. Listen to the teacher asking if everyone has their palette and him saying no. She comes closer and he says he doesn't know where his is. And she obviously ignores him.
Don't spill the paint. No. This one. I don't know where mine is. Ah, dang it, I was trying to get... Don't spill the paint. Nope, don't spill the paint.
Listen to Ian finally selecting a picture while he's talking to somebody else at the table.
Do not spill the paint. Careful. Careful. Don't drop it on the table or it'll spill. Huh? Looking for something?
Nope.
Yes.
Nope. I don't even need that. Whatever. Wait, which one is mine? This one is mine.
The one covered in green. All too hard for you? I got this one.
For the second class in a row, listen to his friend at the table notice how depressed he looks.
My eyes.
You look all depressed, man. I think he's tired. Fuck.
No, it's a mixture of all.
You can't even stick to the code.
It's a mixture of stress, depression,
What are you stressed out about, boy?
a lot of things that I can't talk about.
What are you talking about, boy?
A lot of things I can't talk to you about.
It's not good, man. You're supposed to talk it out.
No.
I'm your counselor. Call me counselor.
No, you're not.
What up? What's up?
I don't trust
What's
you.
your problem today, man?
Half the class or more later, the teacher shows up. She has repeatedly avoided giving him his palette to work with, so now she wants to know what he's doing. He expresses to her that he's feeling sick, and yes, he's feeling sick. He's feeling sick because she's pointedly ignored 2 notifications that he doesn't have a palette, and without a palette, he can't do the work. And she's taken over Ms. Green's job of tormenting him on nearly a daily basis. That's plenty enough to be sick over. He knows he's screwed before he's even started, despite her sugary sweet tones. And he just throws in the towel and faces what he sees as the inevitable.
Hey, Chris. Let's see what you picked out. What'd you pick out? This one?
I think he's sick.
I've been sick for almost 2 whole weeks. Yeah.
You had what, ice cream for breakfast?
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's better than work.
Well, spoonful, just not like a whole spoon.
Okay, you either need to go home and get healthy or you need to be here to work. Does that make sense?
You got water in the picture.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, I try to stay home, but my mom wants me to come anyways. I've already tried that.
You need to do something.
Or you can just send me to the office again like you did last time.
Is that what you want to do?
It's up to you.
Okay, go on ahead over. I'll call the secretary and tell him you're coming.
take that, dude. I can't take that.
All these kids, all the teachers at the school are insensitive.
So they keep him in the office all of that period, then do not release him to go to his next period to at least have a chance of completing his work there. They attempt to make him face the wall in the main office in front of everyone to humiliate him, but he refuses to do it. Halfway or more into the last class, Mr. Vicari appears. He crawls down Ian's throat and accuses him of things he hasn't done. Ian hasn't spoken to Mr. Vicari because he doesn't trust him. At this point, he doesn't trust anybody at that school. It turns out he is right not to trust him.
Okay? Sit back down, honey. Yeah, sit down.
Do you have a bigger Sharpie?
Yes, I got lots of Sharpies.
Yo, I got a big Sharpie. Oh, it's in my backpack. I mean, I don't have any Sharpies.
Not like you.
What color?
Oh, let me get you on this
Yeah, because I was supposed to meet a master's school to give them letters of recommendation. And who's your daughter? Okay, thank you. What? No.
Oh, they can do whatever they want, but they won't release me. They can do whatever they want, but they will never destroy me. They will never break my spirit.
Guys, can you run this for me?
I got it.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for getting that. No problem. Thank you. Right here.
Yeah.
I was so, come here.
By the night.
I'm sorry, just standing right here. How did I know that?
Fall down to
Let me show you what I have.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it is. So let me show you what I have.
come back.
That's scary. That's a scary thought. Way to put those scary thoughts in my head.
Yeah. What's the deal, man?
I know you.
Huh? What's the deal? You having problems? Hmm? You got a problem with something? Yeah. So you're not talking to me? I don't want you to turn around and look at anybody. I want you to face the other way. So that's what I'm going to ask you to do, okay?
You can suspend me if you want, but it won't help.
Pardon me?
You can suspend me if you want, but it won't
I don't
help.
want to do that. Why would I want to do that?
You'll have to, because I'm not going to turn around.
Well, you know what, partner? You're going to cause more trouble than you think you're going to get. So you better not mess around. And don't be defiant with me, okay? If you don't want to be here, then, you know, you don't have to be. But if you're going to be here, you're going to follow rules. So we're getting to a pretty critical point. Because you can't just show up and treat people the way you want to treat them around here. That's not how it works.
I'm not treating anyone
Yeah,
badly
you
or
are. I
good.
can name a whole bunch of people, okay?
Who?
You better start thinking about it, because that's not how it's going to fly. I've tried talking to you, communicating with you. I'm not going to go for this all the time, babysitting you. Okay?
You don't have to.
Yeah,
I never
do.
asked
That's
for
why
it.
I am. I'm your babysitter today, because you can't behave anywhere.
I behave everywhere.
I'm not arguing with you, okay? You
I'm
don't.
not going to argue with you either. You can go ahead and suspend me.
I don't want to.
Okay then. It's just because you don't want to do the paperwork for it.
No, it is. You got all the answers. That's good.
Too lazy to. You can expel me if you want. It won't help. You will fall down to hell. Corruption falls around us. Corruption always lives within. It just waits for the right moments to strike with an iron fist. I summon spirit of darkness. Come to me. You will fall into hell.
How much do you use like that? I use like half. Yeah. Or like that. We can probably use a little bit more. Okay.
So Mr. Vicari says Ian shows up to school and treats everyone any way he wants. This would imply that Ian is being smart-mouthed, cussing, or otherwise treating people badly. The thing is that I have daily recordings that say that this assertion is not true in the least. The one being treated any way someone wants is Ian, and he has been utterly and admirably restrained in the face of it all. Telling someone not to talk to him and then he doesn't want to talk is firmly stating a desire or a need for space. Telling his biggest abuser not to speak to him, it's self-defense. The worst thing he said to anyone is good try when Ms. Green tried to have him accused of something he didn't do. So go ahead, Mr. Vicari. Tell us all this long list of people that Ian has been inappropriate with. I'm dying to hear. And another point I need to make is that we are coming to a very bad place, as Mr. Vicari pointed out. A very mean, vicious, dangerous place at that. And today, like all along, I didn't get an email, I didn't get a phone call, I've gotten no contact. The only reason I know any of this is going on is because I'm personally monitoring. I refused to send him to this school after this. That was it for me. But that's not the end. Oh, no. It gets even more fun. Here's some clips from the IEP where we were addressing this issue. The behavior of these so-called professionals is shameful.
Let's see. You don't necessarily have to be at the table.
I know.
If you can grab a chair from somewhere.
My book in the car.
Alright. So I'm Angela Hayes, and I'm the resource specialist, and I'm also one of Ian's teachers.
I'm Millie Butler. I'm the art teacher. I'm Heidi Galvez. I'm the counselor.
I'm Judy Shepard, and I'm Ian's grandmother.
I'm Paula Shepard, and I'm his mother.
Patty Haskell, Special Ed Director for Amador County. Carrie Foster, I'm Ian's PE teacher.
I'm Gail Von Wald, science and math and landscape teacher.
This is just a sign in that you were here.
Paul Murphy, Ian's health teacher right now.
Oh, your health?
Mrs. Biddle and myself.
Oh, okay. Because I saw Mrs. Biddle's name, and I'm like, wait a minute.
It's a co-teach.
Yeah, okay.
Dave Vicari, principal.
Okay. If we could go ahead and kind of take a look at the agenda. I'm just going to kind of check off as we go. So I'm going to go ahead, if it's okay with you, with the team. I know Carrie and Butler both have to leave shortly, so Millie, do you want to go ahead and speak?
Sure. When Ian comes to class,
some days everything goes really well and he participates and he's positive. And other days he comes in and he lays down on the table and he wants to go to sleep and he doesn't participate. And I have a large class. I have 2 completely different classes running at the same time. I do have an aide that helps, but it's a small room with a lot of kids in there doing a lot of things. And so when he doesn't participate, it becomes really obvious because he takes up more space and he also, you know, it's not a good example for my other students. I want to try to, it's an Art 1 class, so I have all different levels of motivation in there, and I don't like him to be giving a bad example in terms of participation to the other students. So I've asked him, you know, usually I will go up and encourage him to, you know, like one step at a time participate, so he's like not getting bombarded with everything all at once. And if I continue to do that and he doesn't respond, then I have been sending him to the office or to Mr. Murphy's class. If Mr. Murphy's not there, then he's gone to the office. I feel that I've had a very friendly but firm relationship in dealing with him, and you know, I want to encourage him to participate. I think he can do the work in my class. He does have a B in there right now. That's going to be changing if he doesn't continue to participate, because at the beginning of this quarter I've started teaching him a lot of different lessons how to paint, and so I've given the kids credit for just listening and doing the work and just participating. So now that he's going to have to start turning work in and put that all together and start turning in paintings that he's done, he's going to get behind if he doesn't participate. So he's okay right now, but you know, his grade will go down if he doesn't do that. But anyway, I think that he's capable of doing the work when he chooses to.
Do you have any questions? I'm not sure if I have questions that come immediately to mind, Mom. Do you have any questions?
Well,
About Miss?
he does have an aide that is with him.
Well, there are 6 or 8 special ed students in that class.
Okay.
And so he's one of the students that gets help from the aide. But I've been dealing with him more because he hasn't responded well to her lately.
I just wondered if that was a problem, or do you have any idea why he's not responding to the aide?
Well, he sometimes he'll do the same thing to me, and he'll just put his head down and he won't acknowledge that I've said anything to him, and he's very passive aggressive. And you know, when he gets to that point, I don't think it's fair to the rest of the kids for him to be in there. So that, you know, when I notice him getting passive aggressive, if he, you know, either one of us are dealing with him, I try to intervene and be as calm as I can about it. And not.
So what kind of interventions have you found that does help with him?
The thing that has worked the best is getting a student a peer to work with him. That has gotten him to
So you've been more successful with that.
Yes, that's worked.
Has he been responding to you when you go over and try to help him?
Some days he does, and a lot of times he doesn't. So that's when I try to get one of the kids to go help him. You just keep him moving, you know, and that has worked on a lot of the kids. But sometimes
How often are we talking about? I mean, say out of how many days a week does he have your class? 2 to 3?
Yes.
So.
And I would say at least once a week we have an issue with him checking out.
Now, how did he do at the beginning of the year? Was he pretty compliant then, or
It was
fairly compliant?
similar, maybe a little bit more compliant.
I think it's important to mention that at the beginning of the year he was originally in drama, and he was taken out of drama class because he wasn't doing well in drama, and through Paula and myself, we got him into art.
Right.
So we played catch up at the beginning because he was, I don't remember how long it was before he was.
A couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay. Well, is that for last semester?
Nope.
Oh, this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, you can say that if you wish, if you have a question.
Well, she says he has a B, and on this recent printout from the parent portal says he's got a D.
Well,
Maybe
I think
because
I had
of the
it.
absences.
I think I had a something going wrong with this printout.
Yeah,
I'll double check
you
it.
said that, and I'm like, that doesn't, I looked him over, I don't recall that was what it was, but let me check, because maybe it's better than what I thought, you know.
I need to check it again because I think I switched over to the new grading thing, and I know I thought maybe it wasn't right, but I didn't have.
Right.
I'll check it again.
Can you check on the computer here?
Yeah, I just checked on my computer in my classroom.
Oh, and
that's
it
what I
said a
printed
B?
this off.
Oh.
But I don't know.
Do you want this? You can have it.
Screwy on it. I don't know what it is.
Printout date. And
Oh,
this is current right here. That's past. And this is
Okay, well,
current.
this was on the 13th.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Well, he hasn't done any work since the 13th.
Right.
So it's not going to get any better.
Right.
Could it be a reflection of the absences? That he has this.
Well, this was printed out on the 13th.
Today is the
That was the last progress
20th.
report.
Which was, many days ago. It was right after he started staying home. And I figure it's not going to get any better because he's staying home,
So what you have is the 13th, and what she has is the 20th, maybe?
Right.
You know what?
And he hasn't done any work because he hasn't been at school.
I
So
think this got first semester and second semester, and it combined it. And since I switched out the semester to the other program, it's like combining them. So I'll figure out what it is. But
So it's in between a B and a D.
somewhere,
Okay.
Sounds accurate.
somewhere in there.
Yeah, but
Did you have any more questions?
Oh, I just, so, from what I can understand, then he's more cooperative when he's with a peer. And is this one of his special ed peer or one of your regular ed students?
he worked well with his special ed peer.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good.
Yeah.
How many of the special ed kids are in art?
He said
I have all
six or
of
eight.
the special ed kids in my art classes.
Oh, so the whole art class is special ed?
No, I
Throughout
have
the day.
about, I think there's 6.
In that one period?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you
Out
have
of how-
about
yeah,
30,
kids.
40 students?
No, I've got 30 in that class, I think.
Okay. So.
And the students that have IEPs can vary in need, I guess you want to
Right.
say.
Of course they do.
Some are
So-
higher functioning than others.
Right.
Or,
I was just curious. I didn't know, I'm like, well, I wonder how many kids like drama, and I wonder if they don't like drama, if the special ed kids get shuttled over to art or, so I was curious.
okay.
There's about 3 special ed students that are really good at art in that class.
Mhm.
And the one boy that helps
Mhm.
Ian is one of them.
Yeah, just because you're disabled in other things, it doesn't mean you can't do different things well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we all have our drawbacks and our gifts.
Our strengths and weaknesses, yeah.
Yep.
I would not be able to do art. Save my life.
Yeah, art was one of my hardest classes in college, okay?
Me too, I'd like. Any other questions for Mrs.
Not
Butler?
at this moment.
Are you guys okay if she go ahead and signs off and?
What do you think, Paul?
If she's got elsewhere to go.
I can stay if you have any other questions.
Oh, I just don't know if we will later. We might later. So,
Will
you
you
know.
be around? Will you be in your room or something, or?
I'll give you my cell phone number.
I don't know.
Hold on a minute. Okay, Ms. Foster is our PE teacher for,
Maybe just give it to Angela.
I'm not.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of go back into the first semester because, well, kind of what she's talking about are things I've seen with Ian. We did communicate in the first semester over some things.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Question on his progress report when I put doesn't use time wisely. And it's kind of on the same lines as there. Ian, if he does not want to do something, he digs his heels in and he just doesn't do it. I mean, if it's a certain warm-up exercise, he'll just sit there. If he doesn't want to do sit-ups, he'll just sit there. If he doesn't want to do certain stretch, he just sits there. You know, and it doesn't matter what I say to him, he won't. He just shuts down, that passive-aggressive.
Right.
Same thing if we're doing some activity. If he doesn't want to be involved, he won't be involved. You know.
Well, now we're at a place where he's got doctor restrictions.
Okay, well, I'll get there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll get there. So, you know, I emailed, communicated with you, and then again I communicated because he was actually doing okay, and then all of a sudden December hit, and he fell off. He got like 3 non-suits in a row. And so that's when I emailed you again.
Right.
And let you know, hey, he needs to do makeup work so that he can pass. And I said if he gets any more absences and non-suits, he might not pass.
Right.
So he turned in the makeup work, and then he got another non-suit.
Really? I've emailed you twice. And way back in November, I was emailing with you. It was the progress report.
Yeah.
I emailed you and questioned you about the progress. And I said that it was my understanding that if they have a doctor's note, they don't have to suit up. When the day that he brought in that doctor's note and the makeup work, I told him to ask you just to be absolutely positive because he had his suit with him. Do I need to suit up? He said you didn't answer. And then I've emailed you 2 different times asking you, and you didn't get back to me. I'm still mystified. Do we or do we not have to suit up? Because I've told him that he doesn't have to if he has a doctor's note, because that's my understanding.
The first doctor's note I have is the 31st. If he had a doctor's note prior to that, I don't remember receiving
what
it.
Month?
This was when we were on break.
Okay.
This is the first one I have about the
December
ankle.
31st. Okay.
He did turn the makeup in because I have that and I marked that. This is after.
So you did get the makeup?
Yeah, I did get one makeup, but then after he turned that in, he got another one right at the.
I don't know how you couldn't have gotten the earlier doctor's note because I stapled it very purposely to the
Was it on his ankle or something else?
It was on his ankle and it was stapled to the makeup work that you got. So I don't know how you didn't get it.
I don't know because we talked about the 21st, about, his effort. And then I have the copy of the email I sent, and because I printed that one out.
Right.
And I don't have anything like a reply on it other than I did get, because I would copy out, this is what it copied out to me. And I said I was contacting you prior, and that was on the 16th of December, so right before.
Really?
that.
And I do believe, I can't say for sure, don't take me for my absolute word on this, but I'm pretty sure that I emailed you also a copy of that doctor's letter that he submitted stapled to the makeup work. So I'm just mystified how you didn't get it. I did everything I could to get it to you.
This is the one that I sent you, and then I CC'd Angela and
Right,
and
right.
Svanwald so that they were aware too, so they could help him if needed.
Right.
Then we get back from break, and I get the first note from the doctor that held him out till the 13th.
Right.
Okay. So then I made sure, again, I got an email forwarded to me about the ankle issues, and then I have your note
Right.
that you sent saying, he's still
Yeah,
got the markers to be cleared.
Right.
And that's when I emailed back about him doing the summaries, because I have to give him a way to make up participation and credit, and that's how I do that. So I wanted to make sure you knew right away so he could get on him. Then he gives me the next one on the 15th. It says he may not participate until further notice, until they see what's going on with him. And then I gave him, then I got this one on the 28th, the last one that says he may not do any high impact sports or PE due to chronic ankle injury.
High impact sports or PE. So she wasn't sure if he was going to involve himself in sports or something, so she added both.
So
high impact's out of the question.
knowing, where Ian's at with the IEP and stuff, I gave him this sheet. And it basically allows him to go up during my class to the library and do research on those topics and just write a quick summary page to earn credit. Well, when I gave that to him, he got very argumentative with me. And,
Can I keep this?
Yes, you may.
Okay, thank you.
And he's like, I can't handle this, and he walked out, and he didn't want to deal with it.
Right.
Because prior to that, what he was doing was, and he was excused, I had it in my book, everything's marked excused, but he would lay on the ground and read his book, and then he'd put the book over his face and try to sleep. And that's not okay. I either use that for a study hall for my kids if they're not suited out, so they're doing something productive. So then I gave him that, and he didn't like that,
So
now-
the non-suits, they get put to work
the
too?
non-suits, oh yeah, I mean,
They-
like study hall.
They do like a study hall thing?
But I wasn't marking him down as non-suits. I'm not
Right.
marking him. These are all
Right.
excused, but he hasn't turned any makeup work in to make up the time he's missed.
Right, I understand that. I was just concerned because, like I said, I distinctly remember, and I will check when I get home, emailing you and attaching a copy of the doctor's note. I could be wrong, but I will check. But I am positive because I made him do the makeup work. Okay, and where's that doctor's letter? Bring it to me, staple, so you get both of them. I don't know how you did not receive them.
Like I said, I did get it. So now I asked him the next time he came into class what he did with the sheet, because I guess you picked him up after I'd given him this assignment, because I'm leaving anyways.
Mhm.
So then I asked him the next time he came in, where's the sheet?
Can I look at the sheet?
Yes.
He no longer had it. He got rid of it, or I'm not sure. He didn't have it anymore. So then as it progressed and I got this doctor's note, and I gave him that for makeup work, he was telling me his ankle was fine, that he didn't, this was out, and I said, well, no, the last note I got, which was the 28th of January, said no PE,
No high impact. We
And-
were having that discussion at home, and I said, well, your ankle's not fine. You're cleared to do some PE, not everything.
Well, and
because he
until I did-
he complained to me, my ankle's fine. I said, well, it isn't. You can do some PE, but there's certain things you're not allowed to do.
But and I would need some sort of note, because this says no PE. I mean, there's no modification or anything.
It says no high impact.
sports or PE.
Right, so no,
That's to me.
PE, if it's high impact at PE, he can't do it. Everything else, he could. That's what the note says.
But and like I said, I'm just covering myself because my reading is no high impact sports or PE. That
Yeah,
to
no
me
P-
is
so
no
that
PE
could- no PE
until,
period.
unless they said modification may walk, that's what I was looking for. And so I said, well, no, this says no PE. And he's like, my
Oh.
ankle's fine. I just bring my clothes. I just didn't bring. I said,
Well-
well, and I tried to show him this, and he was getting mad. But I have to cover myself.
Well, if that's what you were looking for, if the note wasn't enough, you could have emailed me
Well, that's-
and I could talk to the doctor. I'm sure the doctor would have.
But that's almost the last contact I've had with him.
Right.
Because he's been pretty much out being sick since then. So I
Right.
haven't had a chance to really say, hey, tell your mom if this is I need something that says modification.
It's probably better if you tell me.
Yeah, and I haven't had, like I said, he's been out.
Right.
So, and then we had this meeting.
Right.
So, my concern is just how he's just so short, and, like I said, I have to allow him for makeups, and he will, get real defensive, real angry, and so I pick and choose my battles with him. If he's laying there, I just stop messing with him because he got so agitated, and I didn't want to work him up. But, I don't want him acting like that in my class and showing that that's okay.
Right.
And so that's where we're at right now. And, like I said, I wanted him to get started on the makeup so it wasn't going to be overwhelming for him. And now we're to that point where now he's going to be overwhelmed. He hasn't been in the entire quarter.
The whole assignment, one assignment's overwhelming for him. Like I told you in the email, a whole page without somebody to watch over him, maybe assist him. Here's an idea. You could write about that. You could write about this. He almost isn't capable of doing a whole page. You can't just send him off to the library.
Well, I can't.
His disability is such that a whole page, that's asking a whole lot of him.
Well, maybe there's some other options.
Right,
And
there
that's
might be.
not- I mean, I said,
I
page
agree.
summary, but I gave him topics.
Right.
So he didn't have to think of topics. He likes to read.
Right.
Right.
So I just, I wanted him to be doing a little bit of something. That's why I emailed them too, to maybe check on him in study skills. Because I can't be with him to do that.
Right.
And so that's my way. I mean, if he'd have given me half a page, I'd have been happy with it.
Well, when you say a whole page, he takes you at your word, and nothing less
We're
will
just talking
do.
about a front, just handwritten, and I know, some kids have a harder time, but he doesn't even attempt that. He just fights it right away, and instead of communicating it, he just storms. And he needs to be able to say, Miss Foster, that's a little bit too much for me, and I would have talked to him.
Here we go with the lies about his behavior. We've clearly seen what his behavior is. This is just BS. And she thinks we're buying it.
But he just automatically just goes to defensive and storms out, or gets frustrated and shuts down and does that.
Do you know? Would you have any idea why he would react to you that way?
I don't, I don't know if he's frustrated or, that's why I was trying to show him what the note said, and he just kept fighting me on it. I'm like, no, really, see, this is what it's saying to me. And he didn't want
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what day that was.
It was probably a few days after I got this.
Right.
It was either the end of the same week or the week after, because he kept saying, the last note I said I could do PE, and I said, well, the last one I got was a 28.
Right.
So this was either right beginning of February, and like I said, he's been out for a lot of it. And so I don't, I'm not sure where we're at with him, but he, that's kind of where I'm at with my class.
Right. Right.
Can't you get a doctor's note that states,
Yeah.
if you could do like a partial PE?
If she would have emailed me before, I could have called the doctor or faxed the doctor and gotten her to work on it. We thought that was sufficient because the doctor said just high impact stuff.
Well, then it says that or in
Yeah, that,
Right.
yeah.
It doesn't say in PE, it says or PE, and I can see why that would.
Yeah, and then if something happened with his ankle, and
Right.
that's,
'Cause
for me,
that's-
that's a liability, so I have to really
That's the danger
follow
here.
those until, and, he probably won't remember me having I have conversations with kids, and even at the beginning of the year, if you can do modifications, even having, I would take your note, I prefer the doctor's, but even having yours with it, and that way it shows me, okay, he can do this.
Right. Well, I did email you and say that the doctor basically told me we're back to the first note. He was
And I do have that email,
out completely till the 13th, and then he had modified after the 13th, and that's what the doctor's taken. He's cleared now to go to that, modified.
Could the doctor fax something over to Argonaut so we put it in the file and then we're...
Yeah, I'll work on it. It might be a couple of days, but
That would be good.
I'll work on getting that.
And then Carrie, it would be in the file and you would have...
So Ian is, according to you, Ian is okay to do modified PE.
Yeah, anything high impact on his ankles is a very bad idea. And the note, she didn't want him walking long distances.
And that's the very first note.
Right.
She got.
And she told me we were just going back to that basically. We had to prolong the no PE at all because his ankle wasn't healing properly.
The injury keeps occurring. There seems to be something wrong with his ankles. He'll just be walking along and all of a sudden, this started last year and we didn't know, and the person that she saw then said, there's a good possibility that he's going to keep doing this.
Right.
It's going to keep happening.
This last bad injury happened on the bus.
Right.
And I had to pick him up partway on this morning schedule. I had to go
I
and
think the doctor
pick
wants
him
to
up.
give him a long period of time for this to hopefully heal up and see what happens after that. If it continues, then she's going to want to do more invasive.
She said she's going to send him to an orthopedist.
Well, then get to the bottom of it.
Right, there's something wrong.
I think maybe, have you talked to the doctor, Ian, about what you need to do on your ankle? Your activity?
Yeah, he has. He doesn't always follow it.
He doesn't.
And I'm on his case, you know.
Runs across campus.
Right, I'm like, you're not
Jumps
supposed to
off
be
picnic
running.
tables.
Right.
He bounces from rock to rock in the garden.
And he's not supposed to be doing that.
And when he gets,
Well,
sometimes when he goes to the bus, they run, he and another student run and
He
chase
might
each
be
other.
exacerbating his
Right.
situation.
Yeah, if you see him running around, you might want to remind him, you know, you're supposed to take it easy because of your ankle. Because, you know, he knows he's not supposed to. Kids are not supposed to do a lot of things. And if I catch him and I see him, I remind him, hey, you know, you want to go through this hell with your ankle
It would be nice
again.
if Paula would told that, because she could come down on him and
Yeah.
be very proactive if he's doing that.
Yeah.
Because he's just going to hurt
mentioned
himself.
it to him when
No,
it's
but I'm saying if you
possible.
notify her, then because I'm sure you didn't know that he was doing any of that.
I did not know he was jumping. I've caught him at home. Sometimes he runs a little bit. And I'm like, no, slow it down. You don't want to risk your ankle. I didn't know he was jumping off picnic
Because
tables
if he
or
does
jumping
that,
from
he's,
rock to rock.
yeah, risking another chance of
Injury,
prolonging
injury.
this,
Oh,
and we don't want that.
Right. You know, he can do all those things. He can walk long distances. He can jump. He can do a high impact. You know, the thing is that we're worried, you know, when is his ankle going to go out again?
Right.
You know, it seems like the more running and high impact, the more often this happens. And so I'm trying to get him to chill out. Maybe whatever it is will heal permanently or whatever.
Okay, we will definitely let you know the next time we see it for sure.
And email's okay.
Yeah, I'm good. She's emailed me the last
Good.
couple of days, couple of times.
Good. It's
I'm usually right on my email unless I'm out of the house.
The more Paula knows, the more proactive she can be. We can't be here. We can't always see
that makes sense.
exactly what he's doing. And he's certainly not going to say, hey, Mom, I jumped off a picnic table today. You know.
Right.
I
So-
appreciate the mom wanting to know, but then at other times though, Ian needs to start also kind of respecting us when we tell, you know, same on the same, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I feel like, you know, he'll listen to you obviously, but if he feels like he doesn't need to listen to us, that's when we start coming up with some of these issues. And I have no problem telling you, but I want to tell you, but I also want him to show respect towards the teachers, and like I said, work on that communication.
Respect's important.
It is.
It is a very important thing.
Absolutely.
And caring for other people's feelings, yeah.
And
it's
so
an
that's what
important
I would
thing.
like to see him work towards.
Yeah.
Is, you know, maybe not getting so frustrated and just listening and not just, I don't want to do this, so I'm not going to listen. You know, and if we can all do that and Ian can work towards it too, I think he'll just be he'll have more success and he'll just be happier with it. But, you know, and you can, like I said, I've been getting your emails and I haven't gotten rid of them. So,
Right.
you know, if there's anything else, you definitely can contact me that way.
Do you have a problem with things getting spammed?
I've got hers, I mean, for the most part, unless they did, but I got them, so there's no reason they should shoot into spam after I've already received
Because
them.
I wonder if the one that had the attachment got spammed because
We had done a previous email. Well, yeah, the attachment might have done it. We had previous email correspondence
Yeah,
prior
but
to
I'm
that.
thinking sometimes if it's too big, it gets spammed.
But sometimes it shoots back and says it wasn't delivered too.
Right.
I used to get that
Right,
from
but if
students
it-
sending me
yeah.
pictures.
Okay, yeah.
But I know
So-
sometimes when I get attachments, it goes to spam.
Yeah.
Automatically, yeah.
And I have, you know, sometimes have to recheck.
That's important for me to know because if I'm going to send an attachment, if I know that there is that danger, I can send a pre-email. I'm sending something with an attachment
That's
if
a
it
good
doesn't.
It's a really good idea.
Yeah.
And we know it's coming.
Yeah, I'm always getting things spammed. And people ask me, it's like,
Yeah.
I got to get it.
Right, right.
So that's a good idea.
Do you have any questions for PE?
No.
You don't?
No, I don't think so, unless you do. I think you asked him.
I think I asked all mine.
Did the doctor give him any exercises or physical therapy type things to do for the ankle at all?
Not right now.
Not right now. Okay.
Not right now.
I just wanted to make sure because sometimes I can throw that in and
Right.
work
Correct.
on that stuff. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think she's just trying to see if it'll heal up. If he injures it again, he's off to the orthopedist.
Yeah.
You know, for targeted treatment because an
Yeah.
orthopedist knows what they're doing about stuff like that.
All right.
Very Amy, thank you.
Yeah, sorry
for
to
coming.
pick up children. Thank you.
Mr. Murphy or Mr. Murphy, do you want to?
Sure, I can talk about in the health class. The way the health class is set up, it's there's two teachers in there, typically, not 100% of the time. Mrs. Biddle is the teacher of record.
Right.
And Ian is on her role.
Right.
Ian's grades are inputted by her. But the modifications and accommodations are, I make sure they're happening with all the students that are in there that have IEPs. And there's half that class half that class has IEPs.
So are you co-teaching? Is that?
I'm not doing. Mrs. Biddle does all the teaching, but I'm supporting.
Okay.
And modifying the curriculum and the grading.
Okay.
Yes, and Mrs. Biddle is completely on board with all of that. No issues at all with her. And she's not here today because she doesn't work on A days. She's only a B day teacher. There were 10 assignments that were required during this semester so far, and Ian has done 5 of them. And the ones he did do, he got 25 out of 25, but the 5 he didn't do, he got 0.
Right.
And those were all put together to create a portfolio.
Right.
And that portfolio was worth 500 points. And I made it clear to all of the students in the class, not just the IEP kids, that I had extra copies of the portfolio papers that were required to put in the portfolio to complete it.
Right.
If anyone needed them, Ian included, right next door, you can come over to my room and get them from me, and so we can do that. And, a few students did choose to do that. Ian didn't, however. And when Mrs. Biddle, I was there to witness it, Mrs. Biddle offered Ian the packet of, which I have right here in the textbook he can take home to finish this.
Yay.
Yes,
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mrs. Biddle offered these sheets to Ian, and Ian physically pushed them off the desk.
And when was that? When did that? Was that recently or?
Very recently, just before the last day we've seen him.
Okay.
All right.
And
So your class started in January when the semester changed over?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. So these are the behaviors you've seen since that class
I
started?
had Ian last semester in geography.
Yes.
And in geography, he did fine. I didn't have any issues, or occasionally kids are kids and they get goofy, and he'll lay on the floor, not get up and things like that. And I tolerate a lot. But and he passed the class. So geography it's a different.
So what assignments are you giving him in health? Are they written assignments or are they paper packets that you have to fill out? Or
I have them right here.
Oh, okay.
I have them all right here.
So is it a variety of assignments?
Yes.
Is it written though? Is it a written paper
Written,
or
and
is it?
reflection on the videos they've watched?
Okay, so it's a written summary type.
Yes, and some of it, the reading, I mean, is right here in front of you, and all you answer the questions in the back.
Answer the questions in the
Some of
back.
it's in the textbook. It depends.
Okay, but I'm just trying to determine what it is, whether it's written, whether it's questions that you answer, whether it's.
It's kind of a variety of
Yeah,
assignments.
right, and that's what I wanted to get a
Right.
feel for it, what it was. So.
But
Okay.
I see the same behavior that the other teachers have seen, as far as Ian's just puts his head down and will not, interact at all.
Yeah.
For reasons I'm not sure. As far as there's no reason, no external reason going on around him that would cause him to behave that way. Internally, possibly. So it's. I think Ian's a neat kid. I think he's funny, and all. But the behavior that the other teachers are explaining, I see that too, and.
And the work that Mr. Murphy's referring to in our study skills classes, we all have the books, one copy for each study skills class, and we also have all the papers. So the kids have a lot of access to the curriculum within the study skills program.
Is that like a study hall?
Yes, same thing.
Except it's a class that is given credits, and students are required to work.
No, but I'm saying that it's more like a study hall where they can work on some of their outside classwork.
But that's correct.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to
Right.
to understand. Okay.
So his behavior in class, he isn't loud, obnoxious, or disruptive, really.
Right.
Just that
Passive aggressive?
Exactly.
I'd like to know, I'm just confused by that because when people say passive aggressive, I understand the passive part, but the aggression I don't really understand.
Well, the aggression doesn't necessarily have to be physical aggression. It could be verbal aggression, and low-key verbal. You know how some people can talk to you and they're being aggressive, but you wouldn't know it by their voice inflections, or people have a certain knack of way of saying things that are aggressive, but in a very calm way. That they have that ability, and we all know people like that. And but
I don't know. I guess I get a little uncomfortable with the aggression part because I think it's a bit of a strong word.
Putting his head down.
It's
not being aggressive.
No,
but
yeah, he's refusing to work, and that's not good.
Stubbornness might be a better word.
Against what
He's not cooperating.
Right.
But it's just, I don't know. I just, no matter whether it's Ian or anybody else, I kind of have, I don't know. I just have a problem with that term because I think sometimes it's overkill and other times it's not. I guess. I don't know. It's just my thing. It's not, I just...
That's all right.
Aggression is a strong word in my book. You
Yeah.
know? It connotates and brings up images that seem more extreme than...
Violence.
Yeah.
Right. No, there's no violence involved here. Thankfully, he's a big teddy bear.
But not doing and cooperating in class is definitely not good.
Right, and when he does it consistently, and that's the issue.
So I know Paula in the email about the health, so instead of copying the chapter, he can check the book out.
Yeah, that's already been taken care of.
That way you can take it home.
Right.
And then we've got extra copies of all the papers.
Okay.
And you want those.
Yeah, whatever he needs to complete, as long as I know what it is, if it's a worksheet, if we've got the worksheet.
Yeah, Mr. Murphy has it all.
Right here.
All right.
We should have it done in fairly short order.
Perfect.
All right.
And then, let's see, I have an envelope.
What
for
about a
email.
grade in there?
No, I have one.
And health?
What is
Well, his grade currently right now is 18.75 an F.
Yeah, but you're missing all that.
You're right. There's 500 points right here, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, it's quite a bit
He's got
for a
0
semester
to
that just
500
started,
right
yeah.
there. So if this gets done, this 18% will,
Yeah.
Technically, it's past due. I mean,
Yeah.
and Miss Biddle, that's her call as far as when things are due like that. But
Whether she will accept it.
But in accommodations and modifications,
Yeah.
we'll accept it
Good.
late.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Murphy.
Did you hear that, Ian? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Ian?
I know. So,
Can we talk about English? You want to talk about
Go
science
ahead,
and math?
yeah.
I have Ian for English, and he's so smart in that area of his brain, and he contributes when he contributes verbally to the class. It's wonderful because the first book we read was Night on the Holocaust, and I think the kids really bought into that book. Where Ian I think falters sometimes is when it's the written work. I'm hearing that all over the place.
Right, written work is extremely difficult.
I think what we did, the last assignment was vocabulary, and I set the timer. And I had, for every 6 minutes, they had to get so many done, and I paired the kid, they got to choose a partner, and he worked with one of his friends in class, and that seemed to really work.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try that the next time to see if we can make things better. The journals, I think I've offered Ian the computer to type them if he doesn't want to write them. I've offered to scribe, and it's either when he wants to do them, he'll do them. When he doesn't want to do them, he won't.
Right. It's the writing. It's not that's the problem. It's that's the problem with writing.
Right.
I've
even said
the computer makes it a little easier, but still the brain has to come up with the ideas, has to formulate them to go down, in writing, and there is a real problem there.
Well, I try to, and he's not the only one feeling that. So what I try to talk to them is that we think in sentences, we speak in sentences. We need to write what we think and then we speak. So we're working on that.
Right.
Sometimes, if they can't think of anything to write on the journal topic that I put on the board, I try to relate it to our books. Then I sometimes say, just write whatever's on your mind. Just
right.
So that sometimes is an issue, sometimes it isn't. And I communicated with you, Paul, and you do a really good job of getting him to do them at home, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
That's English. Study skills is kind of the same thing. If he wants to do work, he will. If he doesn't, he doesn't. And I have all the materials for all the classes that the students are in our classes, so we know every assignment. We check their portals all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what study skills is. Same
Going
kind of behaviors.
back, I'm sorry. I'm trying to listen to the notes at the same time. What did you
what grade, before you go on to study skills, what does he have for grade in English?
Right now he has a D.
Okay.
And that's because the assignments hadn't been turned in.
Okay, so he's missing quite a few. And did you say you have those so he can make those up?
Yes, I forwarded some to Paul, and some he has to make up when he gets back because we do a lot of stuff. Not a lot of things, but the book I can't send home because we're limited on how many books I have. We ordered new books. We're reading the Odyssey, and I think I said he could read it when he got back.
Yeah.
Up through chapter
Or
5.
maybe I can.
Actually, you know what?
Maybe I can get a copy.
The copy I have is not the same.
Mm.
I'll give you a copy. I just need to make sure when he comes back to school he brings it with him because
Right.
we'll have enough books if he doesn't.
Right.
And we're back ordered on.
Okay.
Right.
So,
the Odyssey.
so you've been given his makeup work or some
Some of it, yeah. And as able, we completed as soon as possible, and then I've emailed it back to her.
Good. Yeah. And then he has a test. We had a vocab test today, Ian, on the stuff you worked on. Remember when we set the timer?
Oh yeah, I was going to give him that test today.
Well,
I
no,
forgot.
I didn't give it to you. I just
No, I was just going to sit down like we used to do when we were young, you know, just sit down, say the words,
Yeah.
had to write them. I was going to do that, but
Well, you know what? That's perfect if you want to do it. If not, I have a copy and he can do it when he comes back.
okay.
And he can do that during study skills. I put one actually in our study skills slot for you, Ian, with your name on it. All ready for you.
I'm sure he's thrilled.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay, my turn?
Your turn.
Okay, I have Ian for 3 classes. I have him for
You got blessed.
science, landscape, and algebra. And he's in my Concepts B class. I'll start with algebra. And actually, all 3 classes, I think he actually enjoys these 3 classes. I'll just take each one and talk about it. His grade in algebra right now is not passing, and it is, there are a lot of assignments missing. I'll explain kind of how the class goes a bit so you can see what the expectations are. We have 4 types of assignments. We have a warm-up that we start class with. It's very small. It's usually 2 or 3 or sometimes 4 problems. We go over our homework, each problem. I either just give the answers if they're very simple or short, or the kids present them on the boards and put the problem on the board and present and tell how they solved it. And if their homework is incorrect, then they can correct it at that point when we're sharing problems. The goal being that you turn in everything completed accurately. And if you came with it inaccurate, you can complete it while you're here accurately. We then have a little homework quiz, which is the same problems that are on the board, different numbers, but similar problems. And then we have a lesson, which includes pre-printed notes that I create. It's a template, pretty much, that we do minimal writing, but then there are several problems that I solve and show them how to solve, and they copy what I'm doing on the overhead. The focus that we warm up with, I also put that on the overhead after they've had a chance to do it themselves. I put it on the overhead and I show them how to do the problems, or ask them and we talk about it and we do them together. So the focus is done in class with a demonstration. The homework is done in class. It should be done outside of class on their own, brought to class, done. However, if it's not done, we should get our books out when we get there and get started and get ready, because it's going to be presented, so that's the second chance to get it done. The notes are gone over together in class, and I provide the words to fill in the blanks and the solution to the problems, and we discuss it. And then we usually take a break in the middle of class after we do the homework quiz. The homework quiz is the only item that's done completely alone. It's usually worth 4 points. And we usually take a break after that for about 10 minutes, 7 to 10 minutes. Usually based on our behavior. If we've been on task, we can take a little break. And then we come back in and do the notes. And then we wrap up with some time to do the homework in class. Usually there's time to do the homework, because I usually only assign like 6 to 8 problems. Just want to see that there's understanding. And so that's what the class entails. So The focus, there are a lot of assignments missing on here that the only thing I don't allow a student to make up is the homework quiz. If you missed all of them, it's kind of negligible on your grade. It doesn't really affect your grade that much. But everything else does count for credit. And there's just a lot of things missing. The first semester he got a C- in algebra. And I think he could do better than that. I think Ian likes the class. I don't have really any behavior problems with him. It is the last class of the day.
Yeah.
And he and other students are tired. And I do have kids, and it's algebra at the end of the day. And I realize that. And occasionally he'll put his head down, but often his head is down and he's still looking. And I'll usually just say, Ian, come on, we need to wake up because I'm tired. I go, I know you're tired, but we're still going to do some math today. And he usually responds.
Yeah.
And
It's the, well, yeah. If your head's down, I still want to see your eyes looking. I still want to, your ears better be working.
He almost always comes around.
Yes, that's par for the course.
Maybe a couple of times he hasn't, but it's
Right.
not, and it usually seems that he's really very tired. And
I think he truly
is tired. Yeah, and
Yes.
it's like, and he can make these up at another time. And he's not misbehaving, so it's not a huge issue for me,
Right.
except that then there's a little bit of work that piles up.
Right,
So-
there needs to be some push
and I
to
know math
do
isn't
more.
perhaps his favorite subject, but he actually seems to be pretty good at it when he does it, and
I don't know
he
how,
kind of likes it. I mean,
I don't know how the genetics are a funny thing. Because I can't, algebra makes my brain bleed. I hate algebra. My daughter, nearly perfect on the KC test, and he's managing, you know.
and the way it's set up,
Their
you
fathers.
just have to participate, because even if you're not real good at it, I want them to explore the work and be successful, but it does require, participation.
Right.
So, and I have no doubt that he can get at least a C in there. I mean, he could get an A if he really was determined to just make sure everything gets turned in. And I have a list of what's missing on here that I can give you. So, any questions about, other questions about
Now, is that out of a book?
Yeah, we have a book.
So there's assignments to do out of the book?
What,
Do you have your math book?
The math book are called homework, and those are pages in the book.
Right.
The focus is one I print from the book, but I break it down into just 3-4 problems on
Right.
a piece of paper. Now the focus he'd have to get from me out of the file cabinet.
Right.
The notes should all be completed, which is copying mine, and I collect those at the end of the first quarter, and then I'll collect them again, and they're worth points for each page of notes. And so the focus he'd have to get from me, but the homework, and there's quite a few homework on here, which keep him more than busy.
Right.
The assignments.
Right.
So.
And then and the algebra books that Gail uses are in our study skills classes, and it's the same book that we use out in the general program.
Right, so you have it to help students in
Yes.
study
And
skills.
we work on math. And
I'll give him this as soon as I'm done. I'm just going to.
Okay.
Okay, so science class is I think is maybe his favorite class. We
Right.
do.
Right up his alley.
Yeah, it's right up his alley. I actually he's my go-to guy a lot of the times. It's jump in with both feet. Brings up interesting questions. Understands every subject we talk about. We do a lot of hands-on gardening. We've planted seeds. We do cooking, the things that we've grown. We do activities with the lessons. We read out of the book. We do writing on worksheets. Kind of do all of that, and he likes all of it, and does all of it. His grade's a B-. When I looked back over, I don't know if you have a printout or I can print one out. He has most of the points on everything. I think we turned in a packet of materials that we went through gradually, and then I can explain that briefly just so you know. But he was missing some points on that, but not a ton, but it just brought his grade down a bit. Then I also give participation points just for being here and being a good sport and jumping in and helping, and our spirit is everybody pitches in. We vacuum the floors when we're done.
Right.
Everybody cleans up when we make a huge mess, and everybody
Right.
helps, and you get points for that.
Right.
I put an agenda on the board over there for science and say this is what we're going to be doing in this lesson. These are our assignments we're going to be getting to. If I forget one, I put it on there. They have an agenda, they copy that, and then we do the papers. We put them all together, put our agenda on top, check off that we've done them, and turn it in. So I think it's pretty clear what needs to be done, and he doesn't seem to have a problem with that.
Right.
So, and he's
Things
about
that are
like
easy
in
for
my-
him, he
He's just
fusses less about. Yeah.
As soon as let's go to the garden, he's the first one up and out
Well,
the door. And
we do that at home. We garden a blue streak
So,
at home. So.
Yeah, and I can always say, Ian, can you go get this from there? And he will. Can you
Yep.
go get the wheelbarrow? Here's the keys. Can you go get that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a few students that are like that, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Landscape class is a combination of, we did a lot of hands-on stuff outside the first semester. He, for the most part, he was really into that also. I don't remember his grade the first semester. He's getting a C in there right now. We've
Yeah.
had more written work lately.
You got a B- from what my paperwork
Okay,
says. Yeah.
Yeah, and we did a landscape plumbing project outside, and he missed some days, but then the days he was there, I'd say, and we have groups, and his group kind of kept changing, or his group, I just said, Ian, you know what, go to the group that's working and join them, and show me that you want to help and you want to do this, and he did. So, you know, when he sits on the ground and rolls in the dirt a little bit sometimes, I'll go, come on, you got to stop doing that, and he usually does, or he'll sit there and he says, I'm tired, but we've usually had a pretty good day, and that's okay. He's really good about running back over here and getting tools for that class if I need it. So
He's a great gopher.
Well,
at home he does a lot of that.
Doing it, and it's a really big addition, that
Right.
sort of participation, and
Yep.
I think that the other teachers, if they just saw a piece of that, it would make all the difference in the world. So
Yeah, it might.
yeah.
I think it's harder when you're in an academic field and that is not your strong suit. It's much more difficult to be enthusiastic and to demonstrate what you really are good at.
Mhm.
In your class, he gets to do that. So he feels
Yeah,
good
fits
about
him- fits
himself,
him
and he
well.
feels more motivated and enjoys the process. And you see the results.
Right. And I have to say, I think I can understand the other behavior. I can maybe see that occasionally, but it doesn't really get demonstrated that much. I usually get a smile and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
happy kind of go lucky almost.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel really blessed.
After
having
sitting
a-
at the table, I'm sure you do.
Yeah. So, any questions about those two classes?
No. Do you, Paul?
I would.
Thinking.
Oh. Okay.
Because I had 1,000,001 questions, you know, I've tried to categorize them by teacher, and now trying to get to your memory banks and review if there's anything pressing I needed to ask.
Well, you can always come back to.
Right, that's
And
true.
then I just want to see this grade go up in math. He
Yeah.
deserves it.
Yeah.
He just needs to show me some work and copy the work I show him.
Right.
Yeah, it's not really that much.
Right. And
Make sure she gets a list.
yeah. Whatever he's supposed to copy, whatever worksheets or anything we're going to need.
And you know what, Ian?
You can even start doing them
Please,
now.
yeah, you can start working now.
Also in that envelope, did you pull the stuff out there? Okay, because there's science stuff in there too. You got it, okay.
Okay, good. Gather up your
And I
stuff.
think there's math in there too, maybe a list.
There's like 4 pages of math in them.
Okay, well, I'll just take one page
Not
at a time.
1 page of math, more like 4 pages.
Okay, so.
We'll take them and we'll work on them as we can. You know we can get it done.
I hear your sister's really good at math.
Yes.
Yeah. If he gets stuck, she's
She does.
well capable of
Well, there you go.
helping him out.
There you go. The next part in our agenda
if you don't have any more questions, or any questions for Mrs. Wellwell? Yeah.
No, she sounds like she's coping pretty well.
She's got
it. Yeah.
Heidi, do you want to?
Yeah, Ian, so his IEP states that he's going to do counseling 30 minutes 2 times a year. And so...
A year?
Mhm, 2 times yearly is what his IEP states. And so...
I don't recall agreeing to that. I'd have to check my records, but...
Well, you have the records.
30 minutes twice a year?
That's what it
I'm
was.
not sure I was at the meetings. Don't look at me.
That's when.
Yeah,
That's
that was last
Okay.
from last year.
Yeah, that was from last year, and
All
we
right.
kind of weren't sure about that, but we
We get a
needed
lot done
to.
then. Okay, fine.
Today's the day we can address that. If
Yeah,
you
we
don't
can fix that now.
No,
Okay.
I just, so has he had his 30 minutes?
So I met with him once in November
Okay.
and touched base with him. He seems very nice, but he
Now, are you like the academic counselor?
No.
She's the therapist type counselor. Okay.
deal with maybe issues,
Right.
however they could relate to school.
Right. But there's a counselor that says, take these classes and,
That assigns the classes.
Right.
That's not what
She's a therapist type counselor,
Yeah.
mental health.
Okay.
And so the first time I met with him, as soon as I introduced myself and he saw I was from the county, and first words out of his mouth was, "Well, I can't talk to you without clearing it with my mom."
You're from the county?
Yeah.
Well, she's with the district.
I work with Amador County Office of Education.
Okay, this is district, school district.
School district, yeah. She's the
Okay,
district
he
person.
thought she was from mental health, Amador County Mental Health.
No.
That's what he thought, and there's, I had an issue with the counselor there, and things did not go well, and so I'm very picky. I've been very picky who he'll see over there. If he sees anybody, who he will be seeing, because I had problems, and he thought you were with them.
Okay.
And so he was like, "Oh no, not not until my mom,"
Thing, and we just
Yeah.
kind of BS for a little bit, and then I was like, okay. And he's like,
Yep.
just kept looking. Is my time up? Is my time up? But he was very,
Yep.
he was nice. I didn't have any issues with him. He just
Right.
didn't really want to say anything after that.
He didn't want to talk to you because of what happened at mental health with him before.
Yeah,
They broke his trust.
I was
So
like, okay.
stop. Stop.
And she's one of us, okay?
Yeah.
She's good. She's one of us.
He thought she was from county mental health.
No.
Yeah.
County Office of Education.
Right.
The reason we didn't.
When you're done with them.
Yeah.
Right.
But I didn't have issues, and I
if
haven't
you don't
really
need 'em,
seen him.
I'll
I've
take 'em
observed him hanging out, at lunchtime, and when I see him interact and with his peers, he seems personable, and
He
gets
didn't
along
have that before. That's
with some
just
of the
blooming
peers.
this year.
Yeah.
I mean, he was trying, but he's making a lot of really bad mistakes, and he's gotten to the place where he's starting to finally have that.
He has a few friends that he primarily hangs out with.
Yep.
So that's good. And then, I think that probably the biggest thing is just trying to maybe his goal is. I have it right there. Which one do you have? Processing feelings. Yeah, identify and express feelings during role play or discussion with the counselor. And so, I get the feelings. I mean, that sounds like it's going to be a huge part of trying to communicate with teachers. Being able to express, like in PE, if something's not going his way and he's frustrated, to be able to verbalize something is frustrating him and give him the power, because our words obviously have a lot of power.
Sometimes our words have no power.
Yeah, well, he needs to learn if they're done properly and respectfully, if they're done in a manner, it can be done in a way that people are going to listen, or it can be done in a way where people
You can do it all as properly and as PC as you want, and sometimes people will still refuse to listen.
Yeah.
So, I understand that on his end. I understand, the lack of trust, not wanting to say anything. Why open your mouth if you're not going to be listened to, type thing. So,
Well, we'd have to, understand, I'd have to understand kind of what circumstances he's been in.
you
for
would,
that to
yeah,
make him feel that way.
you would, yeah.
And so,
If you understood, you'd understand.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's all I have for him.
So you've met with him once, I'm sorry?
Yeah, just one time.
I'm sorry, I need to catch up. You said he does have friends? You've observed him?
Not in the classroom, I've observed him during break.
I was gonna say recess, let's
I
go.
know.
Sort of, kind of, big kid recess.
Not playing, he's hanging out.
Right.
Oh, no.
Right,
Is that something we want to talk about right now, Patty, on the services? I know I'm jumping way down.
I don't know, it's up to you, Paul. Do you want to talk about the counseling now, or you want to come back to that?
We can come back to that.
Okay. So that brings us to the progress on the current goals. That
I just wanted to talk to everybody here about when I've dealt with Ian on a couple of occasions, and I guess I can address when he's been sent to the office a couple times. The first couple times you got sent up to the office because you weren't available or didn't want to go to you, I don't understand coming out of art. So I just had him, asked him if he had any work to do. He said no. So I asked him if he had an AR book, so he read. Then I would just let him go to class after that. A couple times I sat him up in the front by the attendance lady. I think he called home to ask to be taken home.
He might have, yeah.
And at one point, I think you came and picked him up, and I was kind of concerned because on the checkout sheet, I don't know if you wrote it, but it says fears for health and safety.
Oh, that was the last time I pulled him out, yes.
Yeah, and I just didn't know why that was written on there like that. That concerned me.
Is there anything else you have to say about him being in the office?
Well, I will say that
I mean, we have things we're going to discuss, but I want everybody to have their turn before we discuss what we have to discuss. And
that's why
I was going to touch on that,
okay,
but not right now. I just, if you've got anything further to, add about being in the office or what you've seen or what you've experienced.
Well, initially when I first made contact with him at the beginning of the year, when I got a call from his teachers about the hygiene issue, him and I talked out front, and I just tried to talk to him about coming to high school and what a big transition it is and making friends and this and that, and just tried to say, hey, it's really important that everybody is, healthy and clean and all that. And I thought we had kind of an understanding, but then it's continued throughout the year, as you know, because we've made contact about that situation. So it's become, not all the time, but a situation that I end up getting involved in, because in class there are, I don't know if the word's problems, but teachers are reporting the hygiene part of it. His peers are not wanting, in some instances, to sit near him, and we just want him to be successful here. That's all we want. So we are working really hard to try to get that corrected, and it's not all the time, but when it does come up, and you guys can help me out here, it is a problem. That's all I want to say. And I thought that Ian and I had kind of a good communication going, but the last couple times I've talked to him, he hasn't wanted to talk to me. And he told me he didn't trust me.
He didn't want to talk to you?
Yes.
He just refused to talk to you?
Yes, in my office. So I said, what's going on in class? I don't want to talk to you. I'm like, okay, well, then go sit out there. And then, wow.
Do you have any questions, Mom? I know you had some questions. here.
Want to read us something out?
Come on. Plots.
Okay. Yeah, but I do want to say while you're thinking
Color
that
plots.
it's high school is such a big transition for every kid. It's like the biggest transition they'll make. And to be successful, it's not just academics, and academics sometimes isn't even the main part of it, but socially it's really important. And I do see Ian. He's got a couple good friends that he hangs out with, and that's good. But to be really successful, we don't want kids complaining about that issue. And I would really like it if we could all come to some kind of agreement on how we can help make that better.
I'm sure we can. I am sure we can. Do you have any questions, Mom? She's processing.
Yeah, that's fine. That's great.
No, I'm thinking, with all these issues that you're mentioning, no one contacted Paula other than your one contact with her.
Right. I'd like to know who's making the complaints.
Who's making the complaints?
Can I say something? I know that Gretchen Carlson, the school nurse, forwarded me an email. She had talked to you about something at one point, and I sought out their counsel. And so, yeah, we can discuss that. Because I think it's...
Right. I'd just like to know...
Relative, you know, I just
who's making the complaints? How is that coming about? You know, how's this all happening?
Okay.
You know, I can't even begin to...
Let him tell you.
Okay, sorry.
Well, I would get a call from one of his teachers saying, hey, listen, I need some help. I've talked to Ian, and could you talk to him? Yeah, I'll talk to him because...
So the teacher themselves was complaining about the smell?
Initially, but I've also had some kids come in.
Yeah.
Too.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Complain to you in the office?
And the teachers go to Mr. Vicari.
Okay, so it is coming from the kids?
As well.
Yes.
As well. But I think all three of these teachers here could support me in what I'm saying.
Yes, we can.
You've noticed an offensive odor?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's to the point...
Ms.
where-
Hayes, you too?
Yes. It's to the point where the students are saying it out loud in my class. And I make that go away best I can. But, and students...
And how often are they saying this in class?
It could be daily.
Daily they're saying something?
When he's in my class.
To him or to you? Or
Yeah, to him and to me.
Okay.
And so I don't want that to go any further.
Do you smell the offensive
Yes.
odor?
Yes.
Okay, what would you describe it as like?
Probably not showering every day.
Really?
And
Really?
Yeah.
And I think we've noticed the same
he's very
clothes
active in
sometimes
my
there.
classes. I'm sorry?
The same clothes at
Yeah,
times.
the same clothes or the same underwear. I don't know. I can't. This is pretty personal, but
How would you know it was the same underwear?
I don't. No, you asked me what.
No, you were saying the same underwear, and I
you asked me
didn't.
the
Mr.
same
Vicari
clothes,
said that.
So I'm
No, I
saying
didn't.
it's the
I
same
didn't
clothes,
say
the
that.
same underwear.
You
I
could
don't
be
know.
outside anytime you
And
want.
he and I
I'm
talk. Sometimes
tired,
I'll say, Ian, because we'll work in the garden, he'll get really dirty, and I'll say, make sure you change those clothes for tomorrow, wash them. And he tells me, yeah, sometimes I wash them.
You say that to him?
When he's rolling in the dirt outside and he's really
You remind him to
I'll just,
change clothes when he gets home for the next day?
Well, if he's rolling in the dirt.
yeah, or I'll say, Leanne, brush off the dirt, you're all dirty, brush
If
the dirt off.
I lay down and roll around in the dirt, are you going to tell me, okay, when you get home, make sure to, get those clothes off, get clean clothes for tomorrow?
You're right.
I'm a little taken
So
aback.
let's just remind ourselves, we were talking about special ed students, and you said at the beginning of this that they have a lot of different needs, and our students come with a variety of needs, and we have to tell them sometimes brush their teeth, comb your hair. This is what we do here. We teach how to be a whole person. And sometimes we have to say, we don't do it in a pick on you way. It's
not just him, is it?
Well,
No,
and
and
it's
can
about how school relates to work.
But we
and-
also have a program called Workability.
And
that
I
all of
use
our-
myself as an example. Yeah.
We also have a program called Workability that all of our students from 9th grade through 12th grade get exposed at different levels for different types of students. And I brought the Workability paper, and part of that is talking about job interviews, cleanliness.
I know what workability is.
Yeah, cleanliness.
I understand.
Preparing. Our goal as a senior is to have a portfolio that they leave with. So what I do with my study skills class and my English classes, we talk about hygiene, not in depth like health does, but we do talk about it. And one thing I tell the students, especially the teenagers, that our bodies are going through changes, and it's really important we shower. And I use my own son, who's a freshman, as an example. And I tell them about my son, and I say he's got to put deodorant on every day, and he's got to shower every day, because our bodies are changing. And unfortunately, it happens, and the smells happen, and we have to address them. And I do it in a way where I
So we're fairly convinced that he doesn't shower every day.
No, we're not saying that.
I
We're saying that.
I don't know that.
Well, I'm just trying to understand here.
We don't know.
It blows me away.
We're just looking for a solution, and we're not saying why. We're just saying what. And all
How
of
can we
us-
fix it?
Yeah, how can we fix it? And what's happened in the past, let's just move forward, but let's do it and
Because
set some goals. And he's here, and he understands everything. So if we can all talk about it in front of Ian and be on the same page, then
And it's not
it's nothing we should even have to deal with.
That I would agree with.
And we don't want, if students are going to the office and saying things in private, then we have to address it.
Right.
And this is also something that gets
Kids going to the principal about something like
Kids come
that?
to me all the time about everything. And you know, honestly,
kids
I will
are
s-
pretty comfortable with talking to Mr. Vicarian, I think.
And it's not something that I look forward to doing. It's you know, not embarrassing for me. It's part of what I do to help out, but I don't look forward to that. But it's something that I feel is my responsibility, and I would hope that him and I could have a rapport where I could say, hey, Ian, come here. You know, you need to do whatever. You know, not have him take it personally. I have 5 kids, and I have to tell them what to do, and some of them are 32 years old, so not
Well,
some of
it's
them, one of them.
social skills as well, because I deal with special ed primarily. And there are some students who maybe shower, but don't really know how to lather up appropriately, or really know the process of what.
Why do they not know that?
Maybe they were never taught, or
maybe
I don't know.
because you know, I mean, like you said, we keep saying special ed. Everyone learns differently. They don't really know how to wash their hair thoroughly. They can shower every day, but if they don't properly lather and clean it and rinse it how it should be rinsed, right? There could be soap buildup, scum in there. There could not be thoroughly washing the scalp, or whatever issues, you know. So we do address that as well in social skills, because it becomes a social problem, and the kids, you know, see that and notice it, and unfortunately.
How do you think we can help with that? All of us sitting at the table right here.
Because I think that's, all we're trying to do is come up with a solution, because we don't want kids saying things. 'Cause that isn't right.
Why don't you address that, Paula? Okay. I'm ready. Alright, on the smell thing. I don't tell you guys everything I do. I'm not required to do so. Okay, you can take her outside. He doesn't have a smell. I have taken him to outside sources, numerous outside sources, on days that you guys told me he had a smell. That's why he would disappear from school suddenly. It's why I would come and pick him up and yank him out, was I was taking him to medical professionals to have them check him. Every once in a while they would say that he had a personal odor. Everybody has a personal odor, but at no time did they find any kind of offensive odor on him, and I'm taking him straight from school to them. I have documentation of that fact. Since November, they couldn't find a smell, but I talked to the doctor, and I said, well, you know, I'm doing the laundry, he's showering every night, you know, he's got all his stuff. I want to make sure there's no problem. I don't think there is, but I want to make sure the school can't say there's a problem. And she gave him prescription deodorant that he uses. I have documentation on that, and each and every time you guys would say that he smelled, I would rush him off to the medical professionals to have him checked, because I couldn't, like I tried to tell Mr. Vicari, how can I take you seriously when I'm not finding it? I sniff them, I don't find it. Brianna sniffs them, she doesn't find it.
What about the 24 students, for example, that do smell it, and the teachers that smell it? We're all lying?
I guess.
I guess we are then.
I guess, because nobody knows smells better than a doctor does, and it wasn't just a doctor, it was a doctor and a physician's assistant, and several nurses. At no time have they ever, and I'm pulling him, the day Mr. Vicari, I called him and said, does he smell? Because he had called me and talked to me on the phone. I called back and said, does he smell right now, this second? And Mr. Vicari said, yes. I buzzed over here and I had him out of here so fast, getting checked. Nobody could ever find any kind of an offensive odor.
Can you understand the confusion that would cause?
Are we playing with words?
No, we're not.
That is the term that you guys have used repeatedly, so that's the term I've adopted to use.
I think.
We're confused. It's not that we're not willing to be cooperative, but we are confused by that because I'm sorry if you're upset by that, but we are upset too.
To call me a liar.
She didn't call you a liar. She told you what she did.
What I did.
She said this is what the doctor said. This is what the nurse said. That's what she's saying. That's what she did.
I think
it's not trying to call you a liar. We're trying to say that when you tell us that, and then we take him to the doctor and to the nurse, and they can't find any smell.
I can't find it. I take him to medical.
Her daughter can't smell it.
I take them to medical professionals. They can't smell it.
If it was turned around the other way.
But we don't. Let me just say that this is the last thing that we want to talk about here. We don't. It's uncomfortable for us as teachers and everything to have to talk to a family about something like this.
We understand.
Well, let's do it and get it out of the way because it is enraging for me. So let's talk it and get it out of the way.
For Ian, because he's taking a shower every day. He's got deodorant that he uses.
But that
See, you don't know that.
But we all we know is what we
supposedly
see here.
smell.
It's not supposedly because it's
people are reporting.
Every teacher that was here, all of us, other staff, it's something that is evident and it happens and it's not like faint. It's a strong
Could it be
situation.
something on his shoes?
No, it's not.
No, I have a physical. I actually start feeling sick. I'm very sensitive, and I'm sensitive.
Okay,
No, well, I'm just telling you the truth.
No, it's fine.
It's
I'm sorry, but I think this is part of you've said what you needed to say. You've said enough.
She needs to finish. Go ahead.
I'm not nauseous. That's not what
It says it makes you sick.
No, I'm going to explain to you how it makes me sick. Which
I don't need your explanation. You've said enough.
It's not that I'm...
You want to grind in? Then go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, I don't usually get offended by very many things. I work with soil, I work with animals, but I do have a couple of, for instance, cats bother me, and what happens, and I don't know if he's got cats on him, but it's not cat that I smell.
Right.
And the cat urine and cat feces, it all bothers. That's not what I'm smelling. But what it does is it gets into my sinuses, and this is what's happening in my room, and I start getting sinus pain and a headache, and it's just I can't get it out of my head, and that's what makes me feel sick. It's nothing else. It's not that I'm vomiting or anything.
So what?
It's just it's like there's something, ammonia, and that can come from sweat glands or wherever.
You don't know where it can come from.
No, but and I'm surprised by it because I don't usually get affected by too much. But what bothers me too is that I don't want to see a barrier between Ian and the kids because we all like to work together and be a team. And when I see him getting somewhat rejected by them, and actually they've been very polite and very good about it. They just want, we just need something to get done. And I'm like, okay, we'll see what we can do.
Well, I'm telling you now.
I'm just saying.
He showers every night. He has since before he started this school year. When something was mentioned by Mr. Murphy, I made a particular point to notice exactly what was going on. When Mr. Murphy mentioned something, I took over the laundry, not because Ian was doing it improperly, just so that I could truthfully say that I was doing the laundry.
And is he changing clean clothes every day? I don't know if he is or not.
Yes, he is changing clean clothes every day.
No,
but I see him every day.
I do see him every day.
You know what? I buy multiples. I don't like to shop. I don't have the energy for a lot of shopping. When I find something that fits him, that looks decent on him, sometimes we'll be at the thrift store and I'll find a couple of an item overstocked from somewhere. I will get him several of one item. I've got 2 shirts at home that you guys said he smelled in. They are identical to each other. They are the identical shirt, but there's 2 of them and they don't have an odor on them.
I know, so that you brought that up. I know he wears, there have been days where I know he wears the same pants every day because they have the same hole in the same place in his bottom. And a couple of times I've said, you might want to sew those up, or you might want to change your pants, because I don't want somebody to ridicule him.
No, I'm watching him change clothes.
Protection.
Because I do the laundry and I put it on the couch.
Okay, so what do we do? If it happens again, I just want to know where we go. So that's all in the past.
How can we make this better? How can we?
That's in the past. Let's move.
We don't know why this.
How can you make it better?
Yeah.
Yes.
What can we do?
Do you think we would want to send him to school so that he would be
No.
suffering?
No.
Well, then obviously we have a problem here because we have gone and checked him out to make sure, trying to do what we can.
We've had medical professionals who know odor. I mean, nobody knows odor better than them.
I don't know.
I don't know, because we've done everything. I've checked him. The doctor repeatedly, you guys repeatedly say he smells. I repeatedly take him to the doctor on the day that you say he's smelling. And the doctor, she had him lift his armpit and bury her nose in his armpit. She couldn't find anything.
I don't think it's Theo from his armpit.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
It has been addressed, at least. You understand that.
And that
it has not been ignored.
And Paula has done a great job on that, and that's something I don't know if everyone knew that.
That's great.
And that's wonderful. I mean, it's wonderful that you are working with us. Okay, but what can we do now?
Paula, can I make a suggestion? Would you be, or maybe he does, use something like baking soda or baby powder or Gold Bond that is meant to help absorb odors and it provides a fresh flavor, fresh.
And you use
scent.
it, and it's used all over the body.
I don't use a lot of chemicals, but
He's not going to turn himself into a pretzel to suit you guys.
Right.
Normal hygiene is you shower every day.
With soap.
With soap.
Okay.
And the doctor suggested, she said, the soap you're using is good. She said, why don't you change soap just to see what happens? I even changed soap. And I know he's using it because it's almost gone. He showers every day. I do his laundry. The clean laundry goes on the couch until I or he can fold it up. In the morning, he pulls his clean clothes off of the pile because often I don't get to folding it. He's got clean. I've done everything I can do.
But,
and I can't smell it. The doctors can't smell it. The physician's assistants can't smell it. The nurses can't smell it. I don't know. And backpack. I will wash his backpack because the backpack generally doesn't go with him to the doctor's office.
Well, that's one thought.
That's about the only thing I can do left. There is nothing else. I've had it with this. This what you can do to help. Stop it. Leave him alone. This smell thing, he did have a hygiene problem when he was 11. And he didn't always take a shower. He didn't always wash properly. He got targeted. I complained about a bus driver for not doing her job properly. As soon as I complained about her, she started bringing up his smell publicly in the bus. That rode through the kids for several years, and then about a year and a half ago, he got on another bus with a slime bag bus driver. The kids brought it up. They started in because the bus driver didn't have control. And she picked it up, and she started bullying him with it. And so it's traveled through the kids again.
No, it's not. It's the adults.
You don't.
It's the adults. Honestly, that's not the kids, because we're not taking
it wasn't
word for anything in high school.
It was the adult on the bus too. After she picked it up from the kids, we've had it.
And we did take care of it.
Thank goodness.
But some of the kids may still be
right.
No, but that's not.
But the kids aren't.
If a kid comes and says something to me, there's 2 sides to every story, and I would go to the teacher first.
What do you expect Paula to do? You've heard what she's trying, what she's gone to do. She's gone to great lengths, much more than most parents would even bother. I'm sorry, but what you're smelling or whatever it is, we were trying to address it all this time. You called CPS on her.
Yeah, who came out to my house and found
Nothing.
nothing. A clean house, all the cleaning products you could want, mouthwash, shampoo, conditioner,
They saw
deodorant.
The cleaning supplies. They saw what Paula had or did. I'm sorry, but I think that there's been enough torturing on
Right.
this.
Okay, well, that's, we're not here to torture.
But he's already,
Do you want to break, Mom?
Maybe we need
Do you want to break?
You need to listen. We have sat here and listened to all of you politely. And every time we try to talk, you want to tell us how we should feel. No. Mr. Murphy, please.
What?
I see your facial expressions. I read it very clearly.
And I'm doing it for a purpose, yes.
I know you are.
Uh-huh.
But it's not helpful. It just isn't.
Well, what I'm hearing is two stories, two different stories. Your side and this side.
Exactly.
And I understand your side, that you go to the professionals and they smell nothing. But at school, there's a different story.
I know. We've got a problem
and we're
here.
not just talking about the adults either. When
Is this something we can
random
bring the
students
medical
are saying
professionals
things,
in?
total random.
That's where she took him.
No, but I mean, could we bring them in and maybe all meet and figure out if they have
total random?
It's a possibility.
Who?
I don't
The
know.
medical professionals, like,
No.
bring them in and meet?
No, the last time my medical professional tried to jump in for the benefit of a student with a principal, she got basically told to mind her own business, that she doesn't know anything, she's not at school. She is not happy about that, and I said, you know what, no, you stay over here and you document.
That wasn't here.
No, she didn't say it was here, but I'm not going to put her in that situation again.
I think maybe we need to take a break.
Yeah.
I think
that's
I
fine.
think because this
We can come
wasn't
back
the
to it.
intent. The intent was not to.
No.
We are not questioning the intent, but I am trying to tell you how it feels from our perspective.
From his
Inform
perspective.
you that she has not been a neglected parent, that she has been actively, proactively trying to work on this. But it has left its mark on Ian.
Right.
That's the part.
And you punish me, or try to punish me. I wasn't really punished, but you try to punish me by calling CPS. Who came up with that harebrained idea?
Well, we have protocol.
Why? No, wait a minute. You did not come to her.
You didn't ask
You
me
haven't been coming
anything.
to her at all this year.
First of all, we don't need to discuss that, but we need
Yeah, we do need to discuss that. We
have
do.
gotten no cooperation. If something, when the school has made contact and a number of people from the school made contact and the situation continues, that lets us feel like it's not being done.
How much contact?
So,
Please
I don't
enlighten me into to the
I
contact.
couldn't tell you a number. So we're here to try to get this squared away. You're saying one thing, we're saying another. We're like at a stalemate here. But all we want to do is have Ian fit in and make it good for him.
Right.
That's
Do you
it.
want me to move on? Mom?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna need to go try to take care of that. Yes.
We're losing them like flies. Do we really want to continue?
We can postpone it, that's fine. It's up to you.
Well, I think our time limit was
We have about
3
30,
till
we
5:15.
yeah, so we have about 15 more minutes,
Let
so it's
me
up to
end
you.
this with, there are explanations for what's been going on here.
Right. Explanations for everything that's
Yes,
been going on.
yes.
Sit.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm not sure what that means, but
Well,
that doesn't need to be explained. I'm just gonna.
No, I'm just letting you know that we didn't come in here without some
I got proof
for
of everything I
some of
allege.
this behavior that's been going on, and it's upsetting because even when we tell
we're
you
not,
stuff,
I don't think we're gonna get there.
we aren't being believed. I mean, I just
They don't
feel
want,
like
they want to womp on me, but they
I
don't want to
just
hear
feel-
when we have something to say about them.
we try to show you that we were trying to address this one issue here, and nobody believes it.
By the way, I have a number on that contact that he doesn't have a number for. And it's going to make him look stupid. Mr. Vicari, I don't know how many, I couldn't give you a number on contact. I got a number. I got a number.
When do we want to get together again? Are we, is that what are we supposed?
Yeah, everybody else had their chance to
Now, when we want to
say whatever they wanted to say about Ian.
You all are ready to go. It's late. You're tired. You
Well, I
put
think
in
that-
your 2 hours. You've had a very ambitious agenda that didn't even consider anything that we might have to say.
No,
I asked if anybody wanted to add to the agenda at the beginning, did I? I think I
Add.
did.
This is a very ambitious agenda.
It's every page of the IEP.
Yeah.
It's just
No,
every
we're,
page of
we're not cutting you off. We can continue.
I don't think the IEP is going to go forward until we address some of the issues
Right.
that Paula feels is important as well. We've sat here and we
This is how.
understand.
This is how you've heard my other APs. This is how it goes. Everybody says what they want to say about my child, and then if I come up with a dissenting point of view, some proof that they're wrong,
or that they have at least a
that they're there, I get attacked. I get yelled at. People start leaving. You know, I get shut down.
We don't need to talk about this.
And I'm to the point. You don't want to listen?
That's
Don't
the problem.
listen.
We don't need
I
to talk
got other
about
people
this.
to listen to
Maybe
me.
we need to talk about it, and maybe you need to understand where we're coming from and how we might be feeling about situations that have been occurring this school year. You know, I think that is important too. It isn't just the professionals
It's very important.
that have all the information, because you only have your piece.
Right.
And I'm not putting down yours.
And you only have your
You have
piece.
your experiences. I understand that. Okay? We understand that. We understand that Ian is difficult sometimes and doesn't want to do his work. We are not saying that he is not. We are not in denial. But there is another side of things that have been going on too that maybe you're not aware of. Is that possible?
Absolutely.
So
And
let's
we
continue.
can't do that because we've got all this
I need a
long
break.
agenda. So
I need about 5 minutes. I will be ready to continue in 5 minutes. I need to go out. I need to get some air because I'm really... You will understand why when I get done telling you why. My purse. I'm going to take Sage out, potty her. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Call and email her. You need to
And I've
find-
got the
to
emails.
find- if you've got the
I'm sorry,
emails,
this is Ms.
to
Foster.
find the-
Thank you.
Thank you.
Find out if you got that doctor's note on December
We can't.
15th. Ian, did you give that to Mrs. Foster in December? He had a doctor's note, and he had the extra assignment that she said that he should turn in so he wouldn't fail his PE class if he didn't have any non-suits. Paula emailed her several times trying to find out if she got that doctor's note, and she never emailed.
She wouldn't answer.
She wouldn't answer the question.
It happens a lot with a lot of the teachers
So
here.
we wanted to know, because if she didn't get the note, then maybe she didn't get the makeup work. Today, she said she got the makeup work.
Right. And I stapled it very purposely, the two together.
Yes.
So how could she get the
How
makeup
could she
work?
get the makeup work and not the note?
Right.
No, you can't. And
So
we
even if she
couldn't
didn't get
keep
my
everybody
email, I was
here.
making sure she got it.
Okay, as a parent, what do you think? What are you thinking? She asked Kenny, does he have to suit? Because she said, I won't fail him if he turns in this assignment,
mine.
and there's no more non-suits. So Paula immediately wrote in the email, same email, okay, does he have to dress or not dress? She told Ian the day that he went to turn it in, ask your teacher if you're supposed to suit up or not. Did you ask her, Ian?
Yeah.
And what did she say?
Didn't answer.
Did she hear you, you think?
She heard me.
I know sometimes I tell
There's
my
a
own
lot
children, you better look at
There's
me.
a lot of kids
so I
in
know
the
I can
class
hear
and
me.
a lot of going on.
I'm just, look,
Just doing by report.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, that's just one example of this creates a confusion in the parent, and it also creates distrust, especially if other things are going on. And that's where we're at, because there's been other things going on.
A whole lot of other things going on.
Well, I think we're going to get there.
Are we ready? I'll get there right now.
Yes, but can we put a time limit? I'm sorry, but I have to be home by 6 o'clock for my children.
Oh, no. That's fine.
I'll run through.
Are you guys okay with that? Because I want to make sure.
Do you want to wait and have another meeting?
You know, I'm just gonna expose it all, and then whatever. All right. Starting on 8/19. Well, on 8/14/13.
Are you going to give us a copy of that, or do I need to write it all?
I can.
Where's the copy?
Let's just do it the generalities.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You may not like it like we didn't like it sitting here and listening about Ian goofing off in class after class. That doesn't make us happy, obviously.
I have a copy machine right here.
Ian's being targeted, harassed, and at times out and out abused by staff here at the school. Particularly, the worst offender is Mrs. Green, who conveniently did not want to come today. I think she knows what she was been doing and didn't want to face me. I don't know if she's the one that called CPS specifically. It doesn't really matter.
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt. Targeted, harassed, and
Abused.
Thank you.
According to the definition on the state CPS website, according to the definition, some of this falls under the definition of abuse. And no mandated reporters reported. Particularly, the worst abuse incident was Mrs. Green in the middle of art class in front of all the other kids said she wonders why Ian doesn't, or wonders why some people don't take baths or showers. You hear the kids go quiet, and then they all break up laughing as she points at him behind his back. Mr. Vicari's been involved in doing abusive things to him when he's been sent to the office. And the Ms. Green stuff has been most classes, not all classes, but most classes, which has raised his tension level. And then some of you other people have played into what's already going on with him unknowingly, making the tension levels even higher. The reason Ian is not in class right now is because both his pediatrician and mental health agree that he is emotionally and mentally disintegrated. He cannot function at school right now because of what everybody's done to him. That's why he's home. And he's not to come back until I can ensure that he's got protection, that this isn't going to happen anymore, and even then we don't know how well he's going to do.
The reason he was having physical symptoms.
Right. That's the reason he was tired all the time. He was tired. He's in a deep depression. The reason he was having physical sick symptoms all the time, it was a reaction to the stress. He's been followed for months now by the pediatrician.
So what we're trying to say is that what you're seeing in health, what you didn't see in geography, doesn't surprise us at all.
Right. It's very clear that in geography, Miss Green was completely appropriate at all times, in geography.
Yeah. In geography, she wasn't in the class.
Right. Well, that's even better.
It's just me.
Okay, it was just you?
Yes.
So she only goes out to art?
No, she goes to other classes.
Right, but I'm just saying that's even better. Because her idea of helping was get busy, get busy. If
Get
you don't
busy.
Get busy, I'm going to send you out.
I'm going to send you out. I'm going to send you to the office. I'm going to send you to Mr. Murphy. Get busy, get busy, get busy, with no offered help.
No.
It was just constant barrage of threats. And it wasn't even, you need to get busy. We need to get this work done. It was just almost universally, get busy or I'm going to send you to the office. Get busy or I'm going to send you outside. Or she would mock him. There were smart remarks made and she would mock him. You going to work today? The minute he walked in. And she quit recently. She's quit that behavior. And Ms. Butler's taken it over. And
Miss Butler was good.
Yeah, initially.
She would help him and come over and get him started or send a peer student, and that was working. But this hardcore like this wasn't working. And the problem was it was like water on a rock progressively over the last few months. He has kind of decompensated. One day, he almost flipped out.
Right, in front of you, actually.
In front of you.
In front of you.
He told us.
And
you were worried about him.
You were worried. Should I call your mom?
Yeah,
are you okay to go to
trying
next
to
class?
help him,
Why are you acting
even talk about it.
strange?
I cannot recall this right now. But which is.
Yeah, well, we're just saying.
We're just saying, you had no idea, and he was nearly to a point of a mental break then.
Okay, I do recall this now.
Yes.
In November.
Yes.
In November.
And it went on from there. And it went on from there, and it went on from there, and it went on from there.
And I try to calm him down.
Yes.
Right,
yes.
right.
Yes. But that's what was happening in art class. Even the other kids were saying things to Ian like, Ian, are you okay? You don't look good. Ian, are you okay? You don't look good.
On several
And
days.
he didn't look good.
Because he was upset.
Because he was upset.
He was falling apart. He was more than upset. I'm upset. I'm in control of myself.
On top of that, we got the smell thing going.
Right. You guys are on his
trying to
case.
deal with that. You know, it doesn't take much to send a mentally ill person over the edge. You have to be careful. I didn't understand it till my daughter was diagnosed in high school. I had a difficult time understanding you could be so bright and still be so impacted.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying that you need to know what you're doing when you're working with these kids, because you don't know what damage you could be doing. And it's not, I'm not saying that you have to be perfect or anything like that. That's why I'm saying you need to work with Paula. Do you think she understands what it's like to be bipolar? You bet your bippy she does. You bet your bippy. She had a counselor tell her one time, she says, I can't believe how well you cope. She says, most of my people, most of my patients can't do near as well as you do. So yes, she does, and she tries hard. She's not perfect. I'm just saying, he needs to be held accountable when he needs to be held accountable.
In an
There's
appropriate
no doubt
way.
about that, in an appropriate way. But you guys are on the outside looking in, and you don't know, unless you live with a mentally ill person, or unless you have a mental illness yourself, you don't know where that line is that you're crossing over.
And I watched with just stunned. He's disintegrating right in front of you people. And nobody. What if it wasn't you people? He has all the signs of being abused. What if it wasn't you people? What if I had some male friend? You know, what if? And I have no clue, you know, but this person was abusing him. And he's showing all these symptoms at school. You know, all, you know, not you. You were very good with him. You know, there's not a whole lot of complaints other than, you know, you didn't call me when he almost, you know, went over the edge. You know, but nobody.
Because he appeared to be under control after I consoled with him.
Yeah.
When he's, the symptoms, the signs, that's what you get until there's just complete and utter meltdown, and he got really close.
That's one of the reasons.
And I went to the doctor that day, and the doctor agreed with me. I think, yes, we should pull him out. She says, I want you to call mental health and advise them and his doctor over there what we're doing. You know, and that's what he couldn't take anymore. He was all these signs, and it just mystified me that
he had a spot on his shoulder in the last few weeks. We took him to the doctor. It appeared overnight. She wasn't sure what it was.
It appeared the morning after the last day he was here. He had this strange mark in his shoulder. I took him to the doctor. She said, I'm not sure what it is. But as soon as he was out, 2 days, it just disappeared. And the doctor still doesn't know why.
Do you know what that means when a kid picks on themselves?
Till they scar?
They're under great stress.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And yeah, why Mr. Vicari, you can relay this on to Mr. Vicari, who ran like a jackrabbit. Mr. Vicari, the very last time he had him in the office, he attempted to make him sit facing a wall in the main office where all the kids and everybody are to humiliate him. You know, that's abusive. And then later he comes back, you know, Ian's refusing to face the wall and tells him he needs to face the wall, and Ian says, you're going to have to suspend me because I'm not going to do it. You know, and then Mr. Vicari ground down on him, got, you know, the big attitude with him, and said, you know what, I have to babysit you because you can't behave anywhere. That's abusive to his self-esteem.
The last art class he went to, he
wasn't
working.
That was that morning before he got sent to Mr. Vicari. He didn't have a palette. Because he was supposed, the class before that, he was supposed to go get a palette from Ms. Green. He didn't want to deal with Ms. Green because of all the stuff she does to him. He gets anywhere near her, she starts making smart remarks. You know, he didn't go over and get the palette, so she got on his case, you know, that class, sent him out of class so he didn't have his palette. this class, the morning that Mr. Vicari got a hold of him, he didn't have a palette. The student next to him told her he didn't have a palette to do his work with. She said,
Ian told her
she
later.
said, okay. Ian, she said, everybody have their stuff, their palette and their stuff to work with. Ian says, no. And she ignored him. Then she waits 20 minutes, half an hour, comes over, gets on his case because he's not working, and sends him to the office where Mr. Vicari does this crap to him. You know, he does need to be held accountable.
Yes.
This is abusive. This is not holding somebody accountable. This is abusive, and he doesn't have a choice whether to come here. You know, I've got to send him here. You all can run away. Mr. Vicari can run away like a little jackrabbit. He couldn't. He couldn't get away from all of this unless I yanked him out.
And I can clearly tell by what he's sitting here, he's not very in favor of us or what we're saying.
I'm kind of uncomfortable with you talking about my boss like this.
Well, you know what? He had the choice to stay. He ran.
We couldn't get to.
There was an emergency.
We
Right.
understand that. We understand, but that always happens.
Right. It always happens.
No one, you know, look at
The last
people.
principal blew up at me and called me a bad mother, and I didn't care about my kids. He just blew up at me in the IEP. They either blow up at me or they find reasons they need to leave.
Think that we might have reasons to be upset.
Right.
I understand. Think about this. I understand that you have reasons to be upset with Ian.
Right, you do. You do.
But
I'm not really upset with him.
well, because he's not working in class. He's not doing what he's supposed
Well,
to be doing.
you've sent him to the office.
It's frustrating.
We have dozens of kids that
He's gone outside. I've never said. I don't know if I've never written him up.
We never said that you.
You sent him to the office.
Yeah.
Yes, you have. Not often, but you have. You've sent him to the
He can
office.
talk. I mean, he was not saying anything because he did not want to get into it because he knew he wouldn't be believed. Look how much hard trouble we're having here
Right.
convincing you folks.
Well, it's not a matter of convincing us.
Who's
It's just, there's a separation of what we see here at school and what you see outside of school.
Right.
There's a separation there. Isn't that why I don't believe you?
Well,
it's just that we see what
you
we
know,
see in
but-
here.
Right. You see what you see and you
we're
make the
trying to
judgments
tell
that you
you-
make and you act on your judgments.
Right. We're trying
And that
to
isn't
tell you
always
there's
correct.
another side to the page.
Right.
Okay, so let's. Do you want to continue, Paula, on your list?
Yeah, we're not settling the IEP today.
Oh, no, we're not done.
Ian's not coming back to school until he can be protected.
Do we have a note? A doctor note on any of that?
The doctor and I have made an agreement that I was going to keep her apprised of what Daisy missed and when and if I pulled them out, and that we would just let it ride so that she could write one note for everything all at once. So,
You mentioned mental health. Does Ian have a mental health counselor?
Yes, he
yes,
does.
he does.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. Yes, here and
He finally got it. He finally got a good one.
I don't know how good she is,
Okay.
but we're going to give her a try.
Good. Does it happen to be Melissa?
No,
No.
Sylvia?
no.
I don't know who else there is, but that's okay. It doesn't matter.
There's a fellow.
Daniel.
But you said she, so, but it doesn't matter. I just was curious.
Right.
So do you want to continue?
Yeah, we're gonna have to, and we may have to meet. We may have to meet with you at the district offices because, you know, Ms. Von Waldau, you've been one of the best ones. You and Mr. Murphy, you know, you've dealt with them, and it hasn't always been easy. You know,
I don't consider.
Ms. Hayes, you know, she doesn't always know what she's done. You know, she's acting like a normal teacher, you know, and some of it played into what was already going on with him, you know, and I don't necessarily blame her so much for that, but there's such a big divide, and we get the attitude from Mr. Murphy, we get the attitude from Mr. Vicari. Yeah, well, hey, you know what? I'll join you there, because you see, I'm pissed and you know it. You know it.
I'm frustrated, you know it.
Right? Right? Except this is my kid, this isn't your kid.
About the disconnect between what we know and what we see here at this school, and you're not here when that happens, and the disconnect that we don't see when he's not here and he's with you.
And we're not claiming anybody.
No, I'm just saying.
It's just, it's frustrating for
I
everybody.
did say that he is difficult and he should be held accountable for his
Right,
work.
as
I
much
did
as
say that, and
possible.
I do believe in that.
Congratulations for feeling that way.
Now who's being passive aggressive?
Right. You know what? This is why we can't decide this IEP here. And I don't think Ms. Hayes is pretty decent, Ms. Von Wald's pretty decent. He should have no say in this IEP. I don't think Mr. Vicari, because he's engaged in abusive actions, should have any say. So we need to meet with you at the office.
You're busy. Your
So we're
your comments are not helpful.
Right.
To
When
this
I said
process.
congratulations, I feel that way. What I should have said, what I meant to say,
Yeah.
was
That's kind of passive aggressive. Here, can you take my stuff, my folder, thank you. Start packing up.
May have come across as being a little bit sarcastic, which I'm.
Paula, before you go, I want to get you that book.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Because I will engage in trying to get the stuff done at home.
We simply were trying to explain.
Okay, I got it. No,
We
I
need
got it.
another meeting? And who do you want at that meeting?
Can you have?
Oh, yeah, this is just that you were here.
And just in that regard.
We need to go.
I don't know if you want him to.
We need to go over with you in detail. I just gave you generalities.
Okay.
Um,
So you want to have a private meeting with me?
yeah, I got months and months and months, and you need to be made aware, of what's been going on at this site. So.
We just.
Paula, do you want to do that before we go over the IEP goals and write it? We have an additional.
Yeah, we're not today.
Okay. No, I know not today. But I mean, do you want to meet with Patty and then do the IEP part?
When we meet with Patty and I make her aware of the fullness of what has been going on here, because telling what I told you doesn't even start to do it justice. Then we'll decide with Patty
When to do the paperwork?
how to proceed from there. She's now, the team is her. The IEP team is her and us.
It's just me. No.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fine.
because we've endured abuse by staff in the school district before, and I let it pass. I let it go. I said, look, if they fire the person, they know that this happened. They're going to be way more careful in the future. No harm, no foul. Not going to pursue it any further. We did that.
No.
And crap's still happening.
No,
Excuse me.
So,
Can I give you one more paper to take with you, though?
the top.
No, it says agree to all parts of the IEP.
No, we're not doing the IEP. This
This is your attendance, right
That's
here.
attendance.
right.
It just says you were here today.
That's an attendance.
This part down here, you don't.
No, you know what?
Oh, you know what?
I'm not going to sign anything.
You know what?
I'm not going to sign anything.